Good morning, good morning. If you're new here, my name is Brian Craig. This is the top of the hour break for our radio show here that broadcasts in Florida on a whole bunch of radio stations. And we'll be on the air in just a couple of minutes live, talking about all the issues, as well as taking calls from those of you that watch on YouTube and our radio listeners. So we're on AM and FM stations. Good morning, everyone. Oh, yeah. There's so much going on. So much going on. Tucker Carlson really embarrassed Don Lemon last night. We got to talk about that. The new Project Veritas release. There's a lot to talk about. And we're here for 3 hours live every weekday morning. Oh, yeah. I'm drinking my coffee.
His number is listed at SteveKaneShow.com, as is his website if you miss it. His number, which rings directly to him, 954-939-1500. 954-939-1500. That's Scott from Cut My Kilowatts.
Here we go. Showtime.
Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time of your passing? Avoid probate. Call the Siegel Law Group with 9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gate.
If you're new, make sure you subscribe, and everybody in there, like the video if you have not done so already. You guys, when you like the video, that helps spread the word about this channel.
South Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. To call the show toll free, dial 1-888-COCAINE-1. That's 1-888-COCAINE-1. And now, here's Steve.
Hey guys, welcome to the program. My name is Brian Craig. You are listening to Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. We are live weekday mornings from 6 until 9 a.m., broadcasting, of course, on 96.9 FM, 95.3 on the FM radio dial, and, of course, AM 1470, with an overnight rebroadcast midnight till 6 a.m., 7 days a week, which means weekdays, The Steve Kane Show, we are on the air from midnight until 9 a.m. on all these radio stations and all our other platforms. So, yeah, I know. We've got a lot of content, a lot going on, a lot to cover. Tucker Carlson really humiliated Don Lemon. We're going to get into that in just a bit. I gotta touch base, though, on something I did yesterday, and I am the only person in the media, and I'm not bringing this up to pat myself on the back. I'm bringing this up because I think it needs to be discussed. I think it needs to be exposed. I am disgusted by the rest of the media, okay? This fake poll and this fake news story about the great Ron DeSantis beating out the wonderful, perfect President Donald Trump in this straw poll. I know I talked about this a great deal yesterday, but I've got to state it again, because even FoxNEWS is running with the lie. I'm seeing it discussed on the Twitter, and I don't know if the media know it's fake news and a fake poll, or if they're just too lazy to read beyond the headline. Now, I did some extensive research on this straw poll yesterday morning before I went on the air. I think it took me, it was exhaustive research. It took me at least 3 minutes, maybe 5 at the most, to find how the straw poll was conducted. I found an article in Newsweek, which I did tweet yesterday, and I'm not going to read you the article again. I'm just going to tell you what happened, okay? They did this conservative straw poll, who do you want to be president, and DeSantis edged out Trump in the poll by just a hair, all right? And what they don't tell you in the media, either through their incompetent, lazy selves not doing what I did and spend 3 to 5 minutes reading articles about it to find out how the poll was conducted, or they're just damn liars who want to get a false narrative out there, and there may be a mixture of both. Participants in the poll could vote multiple times. So they got a never-Trumper or two in the poll who voted a couple extra times to prop up DeSantis to cause this narrative that's taking the conservative media by storm, that DeSantis is the candidate that the Republican voters want. Let me tell you, it's a lie, and those of you out there in this listening audience need to take to social media and correct this. This is why if you're not on Twitter, you need to get on Twitter. Okay? Because that's, Parler just hasn't taken off yet. And with Parler, you're preaching to the choir. The truth about this straw poll needs to be exposed. I got some messages yesterday that people in conservative radio were even going with the false headline narrative yesterday. Usually the people on the radio know better, but apparently not yesterday. It's really upsetting me because they're trying to divide MAGA, they're trying to divide President Trump and Ron DeSantis, and they're trying to divide the MAGA movement, and we cannot let that happen. Oh man, I tell you, I know it's disgusting. I know it's disgusting, but hey, listen, that's what we do here. We we're here to tell you guys the truth, regardless, and that's what we do. Oh man, last night, Tucker Carlson just had an incredible... Tucker Carlson, he's really ticking people off. He's going after people. He is going after everyone. I hope he has his house in order because he is pissing off everyone. He has no allies. He's got most of Fox News pissed off at him because there's always been that divide between the news division and the opinion people. Hannity's bitterly jealous of Tucker Carlson, and he keeps breaking news all the time. And when you work for the mainstream media, which Fox News is a part of, I know they say they're not. Jesse Waters talks about Fox News versus corporate media. Really, you're not corporate media? Come on, Jesse. But one of the unspoken rules of news is you're not supposed to report news. And he's been doing it. He has been on fire, Tucker Carlson, for the past several weeks. It started when he exposed Kevin McCarthy, the Republican leader, living with that liberal pollster Frank Luntz. Then he had all that stuff on the Capitol breach last week, which was amazing. Amazing. And then last night, he went after Don Lemon because Don Lemon has been on this critical race theory promotion bender. And Don Lemon has been talking about the two different worlds in this country. There's a white world and a black world, and that's the divide he's been doing. And Tucker Carlson pointed two things out about Don Lemon. One, he showed a photograph of Don Lemon in his kitchen, and Don Lemon had a racist cookie jar in his kitchen. But then he also pointed out something, Tucker Carlson, that Don Lemon, he lives in a $4.3 million home, which is amazing when you consider how low the ratings are over at CNN. But this is what Tucker Carlson pointed out that's incredibly embarrassing to Don Lemon. Not just that he lives in a $4.3 million home. That's embarrassing, too, because he doesn't want his fans to know how wealthy he is. But Don Lemon lives in a neighborhood that is only 3% black. Now, what Tucker didn't tell us is if you removed from that 3% black figure Don Lemon, what percentage would it be? Is he the only black guy in the neighborhood, or is he one of two? So why is Don Lemon living in a neighborhood that's only 3%, including him, African American? This guy that says there's two different worlds, a white world and a black world in this country. I thought that was a very good point. And so far as the racist cookie jar, if Tucker Carlson, if Harris Faulkner, I had to throw somebody in who's conservative and black, if Sean Hannity or Brett Baer or anyone on Fox News Channel had that cookie jar in their kitchen, they'd get canceled. And they'd be canceled immediately. But Don Lemon's got it going around, and let me tell you, that was a really old-time, stereotypical figure on the Don Lemon racist cookie jar. And you look at these two leading black figures. You've got Don Lemon and then the co-founder of Black Lives Matter, who don't live around black people. They live in white neighborhoods and they live in multi-million-dollar homes. It seems the race peddling business is paying very well. And what's going to happen with Don Lemon is he's been called out by Tucker Carlson, and he's been put in this position where he's going to have to respond to it. He's going to have to respond to the cookie jar. He'll probably do the cookie jar first, and my guess will be his explanation for the racist cookie jar and his pretty old-time, stereotypical Jim Crow era cookie jar, and I saw it there. I mean, it was pretty brutal. If you were watching Tucker Carlson last night, you saw it. He'll say, well, no, we keep that as a relic to remember what life was once like, and he'll have some excuse for that. But he's going to have a more difficult time explaining why he lives in a neighborhood that is only 3% black. My neighborhood is more black, more African American than Don Lemon's. I live in a very racially mixed neighborhood. Not just in my own house, but next door to me, across the street from me. You know, I live in a community that has more minorities in it than Don Lemon. And I'm supposed to be one of these crazy MAGA white privilege guys. Why do I live in a racially diverse neighborhood and Don Lemon lives in a neighborhood that's 80% white, only 3% African American? The rest, I guess, make up Hispanic and Asians or something. I don't know. I didn't get the other breakdown. Why do you think that is? It's because when you get all this talk about race from liberals, 99% of it is projection. They're projecting onto you their biases, their bigotry. You know? By the way, is Don Lemon's partner a white guy? I thought that he was. So your thoughts on this certainly are welcome on all these topics at 1-888-GO-CANE, 1-888-465-2631. I talked to Mike Lindell's office yesterday, and they told me a couple things. One, they appreciate the support that you and this audience are giving them. Mike Lindell is losing millions and millions of dollars. He's lost over $60 million in sales because of, the big box stores. He lost $7 million on the masks because the hospitals and others last year, when they said that they were reusing masks and they were desperate for anything they could use as a covering, wouldn't take My Pillow masks because Mike Lindell's connected to Trump. So that's a waste. And do you know also that his suppliers have raised their prices on the materials that he uses to manufacture all of his incredible products? They're after Mike Lindell like nobody's business. And we ask of you every day on this program to stand with Mike Lindell, support Mike Lindell in his efforts to support MAGA, to support Trump, and to keep the thousands of people who work for him right here, American jobs, employed. And when you are standing with Mike Lindell, you're also supporting the Steve Kane Show when you use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at checkout. Now, they wanted me to tell you all about a new special they're offering, and this is one you really need to jump on quick. This is an amazing special. This is going to be for a limited time, and I'll tell you why it's going to be for a limited time. This is going to be such a hot seller, they're going to start selling out at some point real quick. The My Pillow 100% Giza Cotton Dream Sheets for a limited time. Buy one set, get a second set free. My wife's ordering this deal herself. We have a set of My Pillow Giza Dream Sheets. These are the best sheets ever. They're 100% Giza cotton. Mike Lindell said, there's a lot of people selling Giza sheets, so they say, but they only have like 10% Giza cotton in them. Isn't that amazing? His sheets are 100% Giza cotton. And I'll tell you, I don't know what it is about these My Pillow 100% Giza cotton sheets, but whatever the temperature is, outside or in the room, I'm the perfect temperature on and under those sheets. If it's cold out, I'm warm. If it's hot out, I'm perfect body temperature and cool. They're amazing. And another thing about the Giza cotton dream sheets from MyPillow that I found amazing from day one is how the bottom sheet perfectly fits on every one of the four corners of the mattress. You know what it's like with those old traditional sheets? You're making the bed, you get three corners on, and the last one, you've got to be, Arnold Schwarzenegger or something, and you still can never get that last corner on right. With the MyPillow 100% Giza cotton dream sheets, boom, you just use your two fingers, boom, every all four corners go on. And by the way, that is even with the MyPillow mattress topper that I have on the bed. But before I had the mattress topper too, it's amazing. And I thought, we got the mattress topper, it's going to be a tighter fit. No, it fits perfectly. So use the promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E, at MyPillow.com. Buy one set, get a second set free. Oh yeah, I forgot. Free shipping included too. Now, when you buy them, you can get different colors. You can even get different types of sheets. Right? You can get one regular Giza dream sheet and get one flannel. It's amazing. I did not know this. My wife was showing me this last night. It's a pretty good deal. And it will be for a limited time because they will run out of stock. They have in the past when they've offered these deals. Now, the reason we're ordering them is we have one set of Giza cotton dream sheets. Only one set because they didn't have the special when we bought them. And so, we wash the sheets and then we got to wait until we get them back. So we are going to order the 2-for-1 with free shipping with the promo code KANE. I think my wife already has. If she hasn't, she'll be doing it today. So we'll have 3 sets. And by the way, maybe you'll want a set for your guest room. Maybe you'll want the extra set as a gift. So go to MyPillow.com. Use the promo code KANE at checkout. Take advantage of this deal. You can also order by phone. 1-800-716-4879. 800-716-4879. Promo code KANE. We'll be right back after this. Do not go anywhere.
If you suffer with diabetes, did you
be
know
right
there's
back, guys.
a 25% chance that you will develop a foot ulcer at some point in your life? And foot ulcers, when you have diabetes, can lead to severe health consequences up to and including amputation. Now, Medicare recognizes the importance of preventative foot care and has provided coverage for those of you who are at-risk patients. I want to introduce you to my good friends at the Sole Authority. At the Sole Authority, at little or no cost, you can receive your very own pair of therapeutic shoes made specially for diabetics. You're probably not aware, but as a diabetic Medicare recipient, you are entitled to one pair of high-quality diabetic shoes with 3 custom inserts per year. These are not the ugly Frankenstein shoes. These are name-brand shoes. They're stylish. They'll provide you with the extra width and extra depth.
I had to go with just the AC.
Foot problems before they begin. Oftentimes, amputation due to diabetes is preventable, and one of the preventable measures that is most effective is wearing the proper shoes. Call the Sole Authority at 954-597-7060 or online at thesoleauthority.com. That's THESOLE authority.com. Tell them Steve Kane sent you.
Have you checked your cholesterol lately? Knowing your numbers is important, especially when it comes to heart health. Any lab tests now of Boca Raton guarantee the lowest prices on all of their thousands of lab tests. Their total cholesterol panel with LDL, HDL, and triglycerides is just $49. No doctor's order or prescription is needed. No appointment either. Just stop right in, and you will be in and out in 15 minutes or less. Any lab test now of Boca Raton is located at 23016 Sandalfoot Plaza on the east side of 441, just a few doors down from Western Beef. If you have any questions, call 561-237-5009. 561-237-5009. Any lab tests now of Boca Raton. Make sure you tell them you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show.
I just put the special. I just pinned it to the top of the chat.
Just search for WW.
All right, now I don't follow football, but there's a football story. A football player, is it with the Raiders? I don't even know where the Raiders are anymore. But he's the first NFL player to come out as gay. Yeah, the Las Vegas Raiders. Okay, they're not the Las Vegas Raiders. Okay, that's where they are. he made a coming out video. Here he is. Here's the first openly gay player with the National Football League. Here he is. Listen.
People, I'm Carlson. I'm at my house here in Westchester, Pennsylvania. Just want to take a quick moment to say that I'm gay. I've been meaning to do this for a while now, but I finally feel comfortable enough to get it off my chest. I really have the best life. I got the best family, friends, and job a guy could ask for. I'm a pretty private person, so I hope you guys know that I'm really not doing this for attention. I just think that representation and visibility are so important. I actually hope that like one day videos like this and the whole coming out process are just not necessary. But until then, I'm going to do my best and do my part to cultivate a culture that's accepting, that's compassionate, and I'm going to start by donating $100,000 to the Trevor Project. They're an incredible organization. They're the #1 suicide prevention service for LGBTQ youth in America, and they're truly doing incredible things. And I'm very excited to be a part of it, to help in any way that I can, and I'm really pumped to see what the future holds. That's all I have for you guys. I hope you have a great day. Work hard.
Okay, so he came out of the closet. Coming out of the closet is no big deal anymore. Do you know what would be controversial? For a professional athlete to come out of the closet as straight, right? Right? That would be controversial. It's no big deal anymore to come out as gay. Why did he come out as gay? I don't know. Endorsements, maybe? I don't know anything about this guy. Never heard of him before. I'm not even sure how to pronounce his last name. Carl, is it Nassib? Is that how he said his name? He says it right in the beginning. Let me play the beginning.
People, I'm Carl Nassib.
Nassib, okay. Carl Nassib. Endorsement deals, I guess? I don't know. Maybe Victoria's Secrets will hire him since they're doing this strange trade. I mean, do they have men's underwear at Victoria's Secret? Now, I don't know. They may. Listen, I have no problem with gay people and gay rights and people being out. I don't care. I don't care about that. I don't think most people do anymore. It's not a big deal. And, I think, when I see a professional athlete, Kaepernick must be jealous, right? He's irrelevant compared to that. It's just not a big deal. And when I see an athlete come out of the closet these days, my immediate thought is, because it's not controversial, it's not a career ender anymore. In fact, it may secure their career because it's more difficult to cut them from the team. I don't know what level of stardom he is at. He must be doing all right if he can drop $100K in a donation like that. I've never heard of the guy before. I wouldn't recognize him if he was standing in front of me in his uniform. I'd have to look over at the thing here to see the soundbite to see what his name is. Unless he turned around and I saw it on the back of his jersey or something. I don't really care. I don't care that he's gay. I don't care he's a football player. I just, and like I say, most people don't. But I find it more in an instance like this to let people know out there that are in the world of advertising, the world of marketing, that you have a new place to go now for endorsement deals, a new type of endorsement deal. Because he's gay, and watch, he is going to make a mint off endorsement deals now. And, when you are the first, like they had the lady NASCAR driver, she was a mediocre driver, and she's buried in cash because she was getting all these endorsement deals. Look at this mediocre soccer player for the U.S. women's team, right? She's taken a stand, so now she's got all these endorsement deals. This guy will be the same thing. And I'll tell you, this Olympian that wants to burn the American flag, she wants to win the gold just so she can get to the podium and burn the flag. Let's see how quick she starts to get endorsement deals. There were people who came out of the closet when it wasn't in vogue. In radio here in South Florida, Neil Rogers came out of the closet as gay in the 1970s. That's amazing. He was really risking something. People that come out of the closet now, it's just, let me try to go viral, right? Yeah, this guy can go so viral on his social media platforms now that he could get 50 grand for every Instagram post he does. You know, so I mean, he has opened the door to all kinds of financial opportunities, and my guess would be he's come out of the closet for that. Like I remember when George Takei from Star Trek, Sulu, came out of the closet. He came out of the closet when his career was over, he was retired, and there was no risk. When he was a working actor, he kept it quiet. You know, these people that come out of the closet when it's safe for another reason, I don't consider that brave. That's just my personal thoughts on the thing. But you know, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? You know, who can? You know, football has done so much damage to themselves. It doesn't surprise me that you got a gay guy. There's a lot of gays in professional sports. I mean, you're talking about guys who spend their entire lives hanging out with guys all the time, oftentimes naked in locker rooms. You know, I imagine if you went into professions, I bet you. Now again, we could never get an honest count on this, because you're not going to get an honest, if you were to poll professional athletics, especially football, okay? If you were to have an accurate count of the percentage of male professional athletes, well, professional athletes in general, who are gay, if you had a true accounting of it, I'm not talking about that are open, I'm talking about that are gay, right? With the butt slap after a good play. I remember when I was a kid, and I was watching football with my stepfather, and he was big in the football. It was on all day Saturday, all day Sunday. You know, he was big in the football. I never was, but I'd watch it sometimes with him. And the first time I saw a player slap another player on the tush, I said, "What is that about?" And he says, "Oh, that's what they do when they make a good play." I said, "They slap each other on the butt? That's gay." "Oh no, that's just what they do in football." No. You know, when Steve and I have a good moment with a caller and things go well, we don't slap each other on the tushy. We might high five each other. Guys might pat each other on the back. But and I always thought it'd be very interesting. I don't even know how to do this. I don't even know if it could be done. But wouldn't it be very interesting if someone could trace back in professional sports when the tushy slap became like a regular deal? Who started that? Who started the pat on the butt after a play? Was it Jerry Sandusky? I wouldn't be surprised. Now that doesn't mean that everyone that does it is gay, because it's become part of what they do in football, so they may not know a lot of them. But if you had an accurate count, this is just my guess, if you had an accurate count of how many professional athletes in America are gay, I bet you would have a higher percentage of professional athletes who are gay than in the hairdressing profession. Yeah, I bet you there are a higher percentage of professional athletes are gay than the male hairdressers of this country. I bet you. Now we'll never know, because most of these guys in the athletics are closeted, and you would never be able to get a true accounting of it. But does it come as a surprise to you that a guy who has spent his entire life naked with men all day, with the tushy slap, pat, good play, doo-doo, try to do that to a female? If you went out, if you're at work, think about this, whatever you do for a living, other than football, and you're a guy, and you and a woman, you have a female coworker, you've closed a deal, you've had a great day at work, and you gave her a little pat on the tush, what would happen? Well, she'd probably slap you, and then you'd be in human resources fired 5 minutes later for sexual harassment. So, no, the butt slap is not a bro hug. That's gay too, by the way. Bro hugs are gay. Butt taps, butt slaps, tushy slaps, that's gay. I've never given a guy a tushy slap before. Good job! Never done that. Is that crazy to you guys? I don't know. All All right, listen, let's take our break for the bottom of the hour. I'm Brian Craig. You are listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. Our number's toll-free from anywhere, 1-888-GO-KANE-1. 888-465-2631. We'll be back right after this.
Steve Kane 2022 MAGA Cruise is a go. Leaving January 21st on the Celebrity Equinox out of Port Everglades in Fort Lauderdale. Join Steve Kane.
Tim, thank you for that super chat. Everyone thank Tim. I put the special for the sheets I pinned it in the chat.
Reserve your cabin right now and call Ian from Cruise and Travel Depot. 561-244-5779. 561-244-5779.
Hi, my name is Tom Laporta, the owner of Laporta Contracting, Roofing, and Restoration. We have been in the roofing and construction industry since 1982. We are state of Florida certified roofing and general contractors focusing on residential and commercial roofing, impact windows, and building restoration. The 2021 hurricane season is upon us. If you have noticed any water stains on your ceiling, or if your roof is older than 15 years, you will want to call us to come out and evaluate your roof. Our services run from minor repairs to complete new roof systems. We install every kind of roof, from regular asphalt shingles, clay or concrete tiles, standing metal seam, wood shakes, and slate tile systems. Call us at 954-604-4602 for a free home inspection and estimate. Again, that number is 954-604-4602.
Hi folks, Dr. Matez here, now with the BioStation West Delray. At BioStation West Delray, we continue to offer the highest level of experience and care you can find in the realm of hormone pellet and hormone replacement therapies. But that's just the start. We offer a full array of age management modalities, including state-of-the-art treatments for erectile dysfunction, sexual dysfunction in women, physical and sexual rejuvenation, and quite frankly, any sign or symptom of aging that you may have. And don't forget, we offer the complete array of all cosmetic modalities, including Botox, fillers, lasers, etc. Better energy, better sleep, better performance, and looks to die for. If this all sounds good to you, call us at 561-320-8893. That's 561-320-8893.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by Attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time of your passing? Avoid probate. Call the Siegel Law Group with 9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll-free 1-855-FLA-3782.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio.
No, I don't do bro hugs either. Steve and I have never done a bro hug. Even the term bro among guys is gay. Okay, that's just the way it is. Okay, now one thing I'm really tired of is all this race crap that's going on in this country. You have these race pimps like Don Lemon who live in a neighborhood that's only 3% African American, 80% white, who's worth millions of dollars, and people like this that are making a multi-million-dollar a year living peddling racial divisions that if they existed, they wouldn't be able to live. I mean, think about this with Don Lemon. What Tucker Carlson shared with viewers last night on the #1 show in the history of cable news. Tucker Carlson's not just #1 now. He's #1 in the history of cable news. Tucker Carlson's numbers beat Larry King, the great Larry King, who had no competition. That's amazing. When he brought up that Don Lemon lives in a $4.3 million home in a neighborhood that's 80% white and only 3% black, if the world that Don Lemon tells viewers exists in America, systemic racism, there's two worlds, he wouldn't be where he is. Now, there are more white people that are at that level than Don Lemon because there are more white people. Blacks are 12% of the U.S. population. But if this nation was the racist nation that he believes that it's in, how is he so successful? Yeah. Well, I'll tell you how he's so successful. By convincing white liberals that it does exist, and also convincing black liberals that it exists. And there's this story out of the Washington Post that is just, this is just sad. Wherein, this is no longer a society with racism around it. You know, and by the way, I cannot tell you guys this enough. Everything that you look at America for that's a stain for us to apologize for was brought to us by Democrats. Slavery Democrats. Tuskegee experiments Democrats. That's right. That's right. The internment of Americans of Japanese descent, Democrats. Jim Crow laws, Democrats. Lynchings. Every black man lynched in America was a Republican. And every white guy that did the lynching was a Democrat. The list goes on. The Democrats always want us to apologize for America. It's not America, it's the Democrats. The Republicans made a tragic error. At the end of the Civil War in 1865, they should have outlawed the Democrat Party because it was literally an insurrectionist terrorist organization since they left the Union and caused the Civil War, started the Civil War. Everything that they want us to apologize for, brought to you by Democrats. But in spite of them, we've gotten beyond it. Everyone is biracial today. I have a biracial family. Steve Kane has a biracial family. How many of you MAGA people are involved in some type of interracial relationship, whether it's white and black or Hispanic and black or white and Hispanic or white and Asian, whatever it is? These things are over in American society. We had a black man elected and reelected. Then we had a white guy elected again. But then after that, we've got a minority vice president. This era is over. But, you know, like Don Corleone in Godfather 3, they keep pulling us back in, you know. Remember that? Now listen to this. The Washington Post, liberal jerks at the Washington Post, the paper of Woodward and Bernstein that brought us Watergate. The Washington Post has been branded neo-racist. They got all these new words and phrases. I don't even know what these words mean. I mean, new racist, I guess. I don't know. The Washington Post has been branded neo-racist and as promoting a pseudo-religious movement. For the latest episode of its podcast series, the Washington Post has a podcast series urging readers of the paper to hold white accountability groups and feel deep shame over their race. Maybe I should form a white accountability group, get together, do an ad online, and then have a meeting and then stream it live on YouTube. Wouldn't that be amazing? Wouldn't you like to hear that? Its series, hosted by Nicole Ellis and called The New Normal, launched last spring, originally to discuss the coronavirus pandemic. The podcast shifted to conversations about race after the death of George Floyd. Now, let me tell you, that incident with George Floyd is not a racist incident. That is not an example of racism in this country. Why? Well, because justice was done. Now, his life was people are murdered, sadly, every day in this country. That's what happens. I mean, it's a sad thing. Okay? But justice has been done in the George Floyd case, even though we had a jury that shouldn't have been impaneled because, you know, they lied to get on the jury and everything. But there was a time when if a white police officer killed a black man, there wouldn't even be an arrest or a trial. He'd continue his life on the police force, retire with a full pension as a captain or something. Derek Chauvin is in prison and he'll never leave. And the other cops that weren't even involved in it were just nearby, they're going to do time too, probably. You know. So that's not a racial injustice. Justice worked in that instance. New Normal's latest episode launched on Friday and discusses how white people can combat white supremacy. Among them were forming so-called white accountability groups. The group should meet and discuss for up to 5 years until you end up with a community that is aligned with one another. Rebecca Toporek, who is a professor in the Department of Counseling at San Francisco State University, agreed with the concept of white accountability groups, saying that such groups are really helpful in terms of having a place to process, having a group of people whose responsibility it is to call on things, to challenge. She speaks to the trauma that therapists deal with who have taken part in such groups and said it was important that members of white accountability groups experience a period of deep shame for being white and to acknowledge the harm that our ancestors have caused, adding, "We can ask people of color to hold our hands. Such measures might be necessary to separate oneself from white supremacy. Part of the structure of racism is to keep us from recognizing that racism is part of our daily lives," she said. "So it's a longer-term process of looking at your understanding of yourself in the world, both historically but also contextually. Also the family you live in, the community you live in, and what role whiteness plays in that. Yeah, maybe we should get Don Lemon in one of this. He's in a neighborhood that's only 3% black, 80% white." Jesse Singal questioned the concepts promoted on the episode and likened them to a cult, tweeting, "This is a very strange movement that's likely to do more harm than good." Well, there's no doubt about that, yes. Would you guys join my white accountability group if I started one? Oh my goodness. What they want to do with white accountability groups, these are confessionals, is what they want. They want you to, they have a concept that is the most racist concept brought into this country since color television was introduced, okay? And what they want, that's true. They're telling us that all white people not only are racist, but that they're born racist. That the only reason they don't tell you that an unborn baby inside the womb is racist, you know why they don't tell you that? You have not heard the critical race theory supporters tell you that a baby inside the womb is racist. That's white. A white baby inside the womb is racist. You know why? Because that would acknowledge there's a life in the womb. But immediately when the baby leaves the womb, they say that babies are born racist. White babies are born racist, that is. It's in our DNA. That is the most racist concept I've heard in the modern era. It's what Democrats used to say about blacks. They used to say that black brain waves didn't travel as fast through their brains, or all this stuff, that the Democrat Klan used to promote. What they've done, it seems to me, is they've gone back to old issues of the Fiery Cross. That was the paper of the Ku Klux Klan, and they've just changed when they get into these experts. Instead of anthropologists, now they have psychiatrists and psychologists. They've just changed some of the words in these old Fiery Cross articles. Insert white, instead of anthropologist, psychologist. And they are causing a racial divide, spreading the worst negative stereotype that you could possibly spread in our society, and it does nothing but cause problems, which is their goal. Donald Trump led a lot of African Americans to freedom from the Democrat plantation, and the left are trying to get blacks back on the Democrat plantation with all of this crap. All right, we're going to take our last break of the first hour of the program. If you're on hold, stand by. We are going to go back to our phones and more topics when we get back. Our number, 1-888-GO-CANE 1-888-465-2631. I'm Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Show. We'll be back. Don't go anywhere.
Attention seniors, Debbie from I Will Advisors has launched I Will Advocates. I Will Advocates will make all of your doctor's appointments for you, handle your pharmacy issues, including refills, billing problems. They'll even make sure your prescriptions are filled. They'll review your doctor's bills to make sure they are correct. If you're in the hospital and you need an advocate to get the care you need, I Will Advocates, they'll do that too. They'll handle your Medicare and Medicaid applications, and that's just the beginning. They do a lot more too. Give Debbie and her team at I Will Advocates a call right now, 954-345-1214. 954-345-1214. Online, IWillAdvocates.com. Never worry about your health care ever again. Let I Will Advocates handle everything for you. 954-345-1214. 954-345-1214.
Hi, this is George Corey of the Soul Authority. In this time of social distancing and sheltering in place, many people have been forced to neglect their feet. We at the Soul Authority are making it possible for you to still take care of your feet while remaining in your home, as we will send a doctor to your house for all of your podiatric needs. The best part of all is that Medicare pays for this visit. So, if you're a Medicare recipient, give the Soul Authority a call today at 954-597-7060. That's 954-597-7060. Don't let social distancing stop you from taking care of your feet. Call the Soul Authority today.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for
Yeah, and we're in rainy season. Oh man, it seems to rain pretty much every day. We're in the tropics after all in South Florida. Are the tires on your car have the proper tread to drive on these wet, rainy South Florida roads? If not, head over to Friendly Tire in Margate. What about your kid's car? What about your wife's car? Yeah? Bald tire. You don't want to be driving around on tires without the proper tread on the wet, rainy roads of South Florida. Now, we talk often about how Friendly Tire in Margate has the lowest prices anywhere. They do tire repairs as well. Other tire shops around town won't do repairs. It's a racket they got running to try to sell you new tires that you don't need. Friendly Tire in Margate, they do, and the prices over there are just amazingly low. My wife's car, the lowest price I could find around town, $175. At Friendly Tire in Margate, $75 a tire. Brand new tires out the door and on the road. Friendly Tire doesn't charge you to mount the tire, balance the tire, no disposal fees, no added fees. The price that Mike quotes you is out the door and on the road. Also does run flats. If you got run flats, great deals on run flats. Any type of vehicle, commercial vehicle, private vehicles, sports cars, luxury vehicles. He can get all the brands you love as well, like Firestone, Goodyear, you name the brand. He can get it for you at incredibly low prices that you will not find anywhere else. Friendly Tire in Margate, their number, call Mike. He'll give you a quote right over the phone, 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. That's right. And repair start at just $7 a tire, so give him a call. All right, let's go to the phones. You're on the radio. Good morning. Yes, good morning, caller. Yes, you're on the air. What's your name?
Wheezy.
Oh, hey, Wheezy. How are you?
I'm good. I decided to listen to the show this morning. I see you're the expert on racial thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, what I heard you do, you asked a question. You asked two questions. You asked one, you asked your followers, would you join that white group, whatever?
Oh, a white accountability group. It's a white accountability group Washington Post wants us to put together.
Guess what they said? And they said, no. Then you asked a question. I'm pretty sure some of y'all are living in biracial homes and this, that, and the other too. And they're like, no. Start making all kinds of things. But when you talked about the cookie jar, they started making the most biracial jokes and talking all kinds of crazy racial things. But yet, when you mentioned join a group, no way. When you mentioned, are you in a biracial situation? No. Are you crazy? Your audience is racist.
Uh-huh. Oh, that would include, okay, if this is interesting. So you're telling me that the audience of this program is racist. You're a part of the audience. Does that mean you are racist?
You know what? I'm not going to say I'm racist.
Well, you must be. If the audience is racist and you're part of the audience, you must be racist.
Can I finish my answer?
She didn't think about that one,
I
guys.
call this show, and the only time I talk about race is when I talk to your show. When I live in society, I don't talk, act, or have to deal with stuff like this. I only deal with it when I talk to you because you have a racist show and you don't even know it. But you're in charge of telling people that people aren't racist when your whole audience is racist as anything.
Why? Okay. Now, why does Don Lemon live in a neighborhood that's only 3% black?
Because he's rich.
Well, I live in a neighborhood that is. Oh, really? So there's no rich black neighborhoods? Have you ever seen The Real Housewives of Atlanta? There's a lot of rich black people that live in black neighborhoods. Why doesn't he move? Why doesn't he buy a house next? Excuse me, he's rich. What about Harlem? Spike Lee has a big house in Harlem. Why doesn't Don Lemon live up in Harlem, down the street from Spike Lee?
Okay, let me tell you something about Don Lemon. Don Lemon's rich, plus he's gay. And gay, rich, black guys that go with white guys normally live in white areas. That just goes...
Oh, so what is he, uncomfortable? He's uncomfortable around white people, Don Lemon? I mean, black people?
I think so.
He's uncomfortable around black people?
No.
There's a lot of rich black people in New York. Spike Lee is the most famous, but there's other wealthy blacks. He could afford to live next door to Spike Lee.
He doesn't get a choice like you get a choice. He gets his choices like you. This is America, like you always preach.
Why do you think I live in it? Why do you? Let me ask you this. Why do you think I live in a very racially diverse neighborhood, unlike Don Lemon.
Because he has a choice, because it's America.
Oh, okay. No, I have a choice too. I bought my house a number of years ago, and we look.
Oh, why don't you go live in the ghetto?
Well, I don't want to. You mean in a poor neighborhood? I work. No, I don't know. Excuse me, Wheezy. Why do you think that I live in a racially diverse neighborhood because I'm not wealthy? So you're saying that black people, none of them are successful and wealthy. That's interesting. But no, I live in a multiracial neighborhood on purpose. You know, having a interracial family, my wife and I wanted to live in a neighborhood that was diverse. We didn't want her to grow up around just one group of people. We wanted her to live in a ethnically diverse neighborhood. We live in it by design, as opposed to Don Lemon, who wanted to live around white people. That 3%, he might be the 3%.
Wow, that's weird that you and your wife get a choice to live where you want to live. I live in a biracial neighborhood too, but I get a choice.
But Don Lemon doesn't
get his choice.
Well, Don Lemon has chosen. So this is interesting. So you believe Don Lemon has chosen not to live near black people. Why would a liberal guy like him do that?
Because he wants to live rich like he has made his life. He has a choice. Wow, you want to take away his choice? That's weird.
No, Don Lemon's and Don Lemon with his
neighborhood.
Oh, Palm Beach is very diverse. I get you obviously have not been to Palm Beach. Palm Beach, oh yeah, it's very ethnically diverse. Absolutely. But you know, it's very interesting. So Don Lemon chooses to not live around black people. He lives in a lily white area, and then he has this racist cookie jar in his kitchen.
He can make his own choice. You're telling him.
Yeah, but Don Lemon, see, Don Lemon is on TV. Wheezy, Don Lemon is on TV every night talking about how terrible it is to be black, yet he is so uncomfortable around black people, he moved to a lily white neighborhood.
Oh. When do you know about how terrible it is to be?
My neighborhood's blacker than his. I have more black people in my neighborhood than Don Lemon, and he's calling me a racist?
People in your neighborhood probably don't even like you, the ones that are black. They're probably the ones who stole your cat.
Oh, you're saying the black people steal people's animals that they don't agree with politically? You have a lot of negative stereotypes.
You're racist, because you say racist things. What you're talking about now, saying that Don Lemon doesn't even have a choice to live where he wants to live, is racial.
No, he can live wherever he wants to live, but he is on TV. He's on TV every night. He is on TV every night telling us that white people are all racist, that we're born racist, that systemic racism exists. Yet he lives in a lily white neighborhood. He doesn't want to live around black people.
Listen to this. One more thing. I can guarantee you right now, if you go to your chat, you should see the N-words they're calling me,
I'm looking, nobody's call. I know you want to believe that. I'm in the chat room. I'm looking in the chat room right now on YouTube. Nobody's called you the N-word. That's in your imagination. By the way, thanks for your call. I want to say something about my cat. My cat went missing at the end of last year, and I look for that cat every day. Every day when I go home from work, I look for the cat. Every morning when I leave for work, I look for my cat. I've put flyers up in the neighborhood. I've put flyers up on the Nextdoor app and everything, and I still do it. Okay? And I know that some Democrat stole my cat. I had a Trump flag flying off my garage, and my cat Ruby, who was an elderly cat, disappeared all of a sudden one night. And I know some Democrat, and it breaks my heart, and I get so upset about it all the time. You know? Republicans don't do that. And when the cat first went missing and I was talking about my missing cat, I didn't mention the political aspect because I was hoping that some kind-hearted person would help me and bring my cat home. And it makes me sick every morning. Every morning when I leave my house, I look for my cat. every day when I drive home, I drive through my neighborhood looking for the cat. And I even, I have security cameras all around my house. And I even go through the motion sensors on the cameras throughout the day and the night all the time, hoping I'll find my cat, trying to find her way back home. And this happened late last year, and I know someone took my cat because of my Trump flag. And that's the type of people you're dealing with when you're dealing with Democrats. And I feel so guilty because I wouldn't have my cat. My cat's missing because of my Trump flag on the garage. If I would have not had my Trump flag up, I'd still have my cat, and God knows what happened to my cat. I don't want to know. I hope she's okay. And I don't bring it up just to. This is from the heart. I'm really upset about it, and I do look for the cat every day. I left this morning, and I saw a cat walking down the sidewalk, caught my eye, and I thought, oh, it's not. And I when I put flyers around the neighborhood and put post up on the Nextdoor app, I got calls from some of the sickest, twisted people you could imagine about the cat. And that cat wasn't just my cat, it was the family cat. And those of you out there that follow me on social media, you've probably seen I've made YouTube videos with the cat. That's how Democrats are. That's how they are. Yeah, I went door to door, knocking on doors with the missing cat photo. Done everything. And whatever, whoever the Democrat, and I even offered a reward, a cash reward, no questions asked. And I thought, some Democrats stole the cat, but I put flyers everywhere, all over around the schools in the neighborhood too, because I thought, if one of the little kids sees it, they'll tell their Democrat big sister, big brother, or mom or dad, hey, that cat belongs to that guy Brian. Let's call him. But no, didn't get any calls like that. I got calls from a bunch of weirdos saying terrible things. If you're on hold, stand by. I got to take a break for the top of the hour. Go Kane 1 888-465-2631. We'll be right back.
Covered AM 1470, FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network. WWNN, Pompano Beach.
Dr. Matez here from the Biostation West Delray. Many of you are familiar with the famous erection injection, an extremely effective treatment for erectile dysfunction made popular right here on the Steve Kane Show. I'm here to tell you that the erection injection is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the extensive array of treatment options now available at the Biostation West Delray. Our custom compounded products yield combinations and dosages that increase the efficacy of Viagra and Cialis greatly. We also offer treatments that can correct the problem at its source, such as PRP and sound wave pulse therapies that restore your natural function. State-of-the-art testing and the most current treatment options all available in one place, the Biostation West Delray. If you want to correct your erectile problems once and for all, call us at 561-320-8893. That's 561-320-8893.
Any lab tests now of Boca offer more than just lab work. They also have B12 injections available. B12 injections promote weight loss, increase energy, reduce stress, promote healthy skin.
Well, the thing is, I didn't lose my cat. My cat was stolen.
Heart disease, improve memory, and improve mood. B12 injections at any lab test now at Boca Raton, like their lab test, are priced low. 5 injections for just $69. Other places in town charge $349 for 3 injections, so that is a huge savings. Any lab test now at Boca Raton is located at 23016 Sandalfoot Plaza on the east side of 441, just a few doors down from Western Beef. If you have any questions, call 561-237-5009. 561-237-5009. Any lab tests now of Boca Raton. Make sure you tell them you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show.
Quote, I affirm that I will defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, unquote. The pledge to defend the Constitution is a pledge of action. a promise to defend the Constitution against any who change it by means other than the prescribed amendment process. Any bureaucrat who alters
Wesley, $5 super chat. Thank you so much. Everyone thank Wesley.
enemy of America. Violating their oath, they are guilty of perjury. But there's more than just perjury here. There is malfeasance of office. The biggest criminal today is the leftist government itself. The president is supposed to enforce the laws of the United States and secure the general welfare. That means secure the economy. Biden canceled the XL pipeline, and then he lifted sanctions on Russia so they can build a pipeline to Germany. He is a domestic enemy, but President Biden is just a figurehead. It's the Democrat Party that is the domestic enemy of the American people.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time of your passing? Avoid probate. Call the Siegel Law Group with 9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll-free 1-855-FLA-3782.
All right, here we go.
You are listening to South Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. To call the show toll-free, dial 1-888-GO-GAIN-1. That's 1-888-GO-GAIN-1. And now, here's...
All right, welcome back. Hour number 2 has begun. It's 4 minutes after 7. I'm Brian Craig. You are listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. On the radio since 1977, one opening on the board. I'm going to go right to the phones in a moment here. There's only one opening. You know, Wheezy made a claim about this audience that I just want to correct once again. I did it during the call, but I want to restate it. She made the claim that in our YouTube live chat room, while she was speaking, people were calling her the N-word. I was looking in the chat room. No one did that. No one did that. She was either lying or hallucinating. I think hallucinating. I think she sees it when it's not there because she wants people to be calling her that. I think she's delusional. I really do. Yeah, I know it's pretty sad. All right, let's go back to the phones. Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name?
Good morning, Brian. It's Andrea.
Hey, Andrea. What's up?
I'm going to address Weezy's call like I always do. Of course she's lying. She's a pathological liar. She's lied numerous times on the air. But the question remains with Weezy is that is she just projecting her racism onto everyone? Because I'm in the chat on YouTube and nobody calls her the N-word.
No one.
Even more disturbing than that is...
And by the way, if that happened, I would not permit that. I wouldn't permit that. I would stop it immediately.
Brian, the people in the YouTube chat would shut it down. There are great people in that YouTube chat, and they would shut it down. Because we're not like liberal Democrats. We don't do those things. But for her to come on the air and try to defame your show and your listening audience really, once again, clarifies who she is as a person and where her morals and her values are.
So why do you think Don Lemon lives in a neighborhood that's only 3% black?
For the same reason that LeBron James does. You know, the man who's afraid to leave his house because he's going to be hunted down by white people. P.S. in a gated community in Bel Air. Why are you?
Yeah, and he's some big, huge athlete. What racist white guy is going to be able to take him on? He's big. He's an athlete.
Here's the thing, Brian. If you're so afraid that you're going to be hunted down by white people, why are you living by white people?
Yeah.
Hypocrisy.
Or a lie. It's a lie. It's a lie.
On Lemon, on TV, stoking racial divide, stoking racial divide, stoking racial divide. He's oppressed. The Obamas are oppressed. LeBron James is oppressed. Oprah is oppressed. Kamala Harris is oppressed. And Don Lemon and Kamala Harris both lay in bed with white people. So you either like being oppressed or you're a hypocrite.
Mm-hmm.
Both ways.
Well, Tucker Carlson is burning every bridge that there is. He's going after everyone. Don Lemon, FBI, GOP establishment. I mean, Tucker Carlson every night. It's like I got to tune into that first segment on Tucker Carlson to see what bridge he's going to burn next.
Oh yeah, Tucker Carlson is like he's like no holds barred. He's swinging for the fences. But I'm just going to go back to Weezy for a second, because Weezy just did one of the most, aside from calling Rolanda and Uncle Tom, once again, one of the most disgusting, despicable things that you could do to a person who's an animal lover. She went right for the jugular when she brought up your cat. And she laughed about it like a psychopath.
I know, and she brought, and I got to tell you, I'm really upset about that. I try to block, Steve tells me all the time, no matter what's going on in my personal life, when I'm on the air, you guys don't know what's going on. I'm able to block that. Any trouble I have, I can block it out during the 3 hours I'm on the radio most of the time. And she was looking weak. I exposed her. So she tried to hurt me, and she brought up this, she was laughing about my cat, knowing that's a sore spot with me. She's a real lowlife.
Well, no, Brian, there's something mentally wrong with her. Because when you take pleasure in inflicting pain on another person, there's something mentally wrong.
Yeah.
But just to go now back into the political arena, who did they let loose? Who did they drop the charges on?
Mm-hmm.
That was on Tucker last night. That was brilliant. Was the woman who's talking about the political hostages that are being held in Washington, D.C. by the Democratic Party for the quote-unquote insurrection, who have not been charged with anything, when in New York yesterday, all charges were dropped on Black Lives Matter.
I mean, New York City is literally escape from New York right now. And, when I'm starting to wonder about de Blasio, is de Blasio allowing this to happen because he's pissed off at the people of New York City for not giving him his due respect during the COVID crisis? Because, what's going on in New York City, I saw a video over the weekend that'll bring a tear to your eye. There was an old man, white guy, checking out of a convenience store, and he was robbed right there, very brutally beaten in the head by this African-American gentleman who robbed him, and no one even stood up to defend him, to help the old guy. No.
You know why? Because now we've patted people on the head and said, because you are this color, you are allowed to do whatever you want. You want to murder somebody. You want to beat somebody. You're oppressed.
Well, they got this mayor's race. They got this primary coming up. The mayor's race is coming up. The New York Post endorsed a Democrat. I guess, there's a Republican running, but a Republican candidate I don't think right now is viable, I guess. I don't know too much about each of these particular candidates, but the New York Post endorsed a black Democrat who was a Republican at one time, who's a 22-year police veteran of the New York Transit Police and NYPD, and whoever the next mayor is needs to clean that city up. I was telling Steve last week, I checked flights. It's so cheap to fly to New York right now. They're basically paying you to go to New York, and I'd love to take my daughter to New York City, but it's not safe. I'm afraid to go to New York City.
You have to think back, Brian. Think back to when people first started to flee New York. De Blasio, much like Biden, every once in a while has a slip of the tongue. He was on a press conference and he said, good, let people leave, I'll buy the property.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of that going on. I was talking about this a year ago, that what I thought was going on in New York City was a real estate scam. And we haven't even gotten to the worst of it yet, because people haven't been paying rent or mortgages for 15 months. And it's only a matter of time before evictions and foreclosures happen. And people come in and buy the most expensive real estate on the planet, Manhattan, up for what would be considered bargain basement prices on those. By the way, they tell us the seas are rising, but the Manhattan's an island, and the give me a break, what's filled with liberals. Wouldn't they be evacuating Manhattan? All right, Andrea, thanks for the call. Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name?
Good morning, Brian. How are we doing today?
Nah, I've been better.
Well, I think Wheezy needs to be put in check because I've been to Florida. I mentioned it last night on the Polo. 34 times I've been at least there throughout Florida. No way, shape, or form is Florida completely mostly white or mostly black. It's biracial throughout the whole entire state.
Mm-hmm.
This is coming from a person that's been there and seen it actually on the ground, and not to mention like how Weezy can just try throwing his back at you and saying that actually I'm going to restate from what Weezy said before, who called you a kind of a white racial slur at one point in time, and she forgot that. But like all this rhetoric that is going around throughout the U.S., it all started ever since Biden got in office. And people don't need to sit there and keep bringing it up, and they need to let this stuff go because this is starting to ruin our country, and I'm getting tired of it. It's ridiculous.
Well, it hits it home with me because I have one child and she's black, and for every grandchild that I ever have will be a grandchild of color, and for them to be raised with this critical race theory in school and all this other racist crap, that's going on is that's a scary thought to me.
Yeah, I mean, like Andrea said, bringing up your cat was the wrong thing to do. I mean, that just literally draws the line. If I lost my pet, yeah, I'm going to feel sad about it because, you know what? They're my family. Your cat was part of your family.
Yeah, I hope she's happy. I hope she's happy as part of someone else's family now. But you never know with these. Yeah.
Get her way. She's got to go aim low because the truth is basically coming back to hurt her, and she can't defend it because the truth is there of what's happening against Biden and everything else, and she can't defend it. So she's going to try hitting you low and put you down, but you know what? That's what makes us strong.
Well, remember what First Lady Michelle Obama said, when they go low, we go high.
Right. Or else, it's like Obama said, you need to bring a gun.
Nah, I don't want to go that route. Wisconsin Gary. All right, Wisconsin Gary. That's okay. All right, you're on the radio. Good morning.
Hey, Brian, Robert, Kentucky.
Yeah, Kentucky. What's up?
I heard you talking about that video of that old man that was attacked, man. Have you heard about the video of that police is running for mayor? His aide, who was he's a canvasser, out with the signs and stuff. Some dude just stabbed him multiple times.
I know. I saw that.
Yeah. That's what I wanted to.
I mean, it's New York City is on the verge of collapse. It is at this point not really a civilized town. Because and what's really scary, okay, about it is these crimes that we're seeing, they're happening in the middle of the day. I saw a video last week or the week before, a guy tried to rape a woman in the street during the daytime. So, it used to be there's always good neighborhoods and bad neighborhoods. You don't go in the bad neighborhoods at night, but during the day, the so-called bad neighborhoods are a little more safe. They're not afraid to commit violent crimes during the day now, even though there's cameras everywhere and their faces are exposed. They don't have masks on because they're not afraid of the police and there's no bail, etc., etc., etc.
Man, I was up in New York City working. We were building truck scales and back in the 80s, and there was buildings up there then. This was before Mayor Giuliani took over. There were buildings on the streets then that had signs that said, if you're a cop, don't stop. And they wouldn't, And getting that way again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is. All right, take care, man. Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name?
Hey, this is Richie.
Richie, the bus driver. Hey, Richie.
Yeah, I'm going after Weezy, okay? Weezy is not truthful, and neither is the black community already. The biggest threat to Wheezy is not some white guy behind her back calling her the N-word or getting a dirty look walking into a store. You know what's the biggest threat to Wheezy? Young black men that might blow up brains out because it's happening every day and you see it. And when you see the President of the United States get on TV and say the biggest problem in this country is white racism, and you see all the shootings in the inner city and all the murders are black on black, give me a break. There's a big lie that's being touted out there, and it's the time to call it out. Don Lemon lives in, I moved out of Hollywood, Florida, because my neighborhood started going bad. Not because it started going black, because they started shooting and stabbing people.
Yeah, I know. Hollywood, Florida is a scary place.
It used to be nice. And then because it was white, yeah, because it was white. Because you got a problem in the black community among black people shoot each other. And it has nothing to do, I don't know what it has to do with culture. What the hell's going on here? You spoke the other day when in Oakland, California, when they had that new holiday, right in an ambulance, they're twerking each other.
Well, when you're part of the problem, there's a lot of problems going on. I mean, look at what happened with these Juneteenth celebrations. You know, I saw a story this morning, a tragic story, a white waitress kidnapped on Juneteenth by black diners. You know, what's going on is you've got a young generation of people that are African American that are being taught that the country is against them. The whole country is racist. Everybody in it that's not black is racist. And they feel that there's some kind of racial war going on right now, and that these acts of violence that are committed are they're entitled to do it. It's reparations.
No, you're falling right into it too. Why are they doing it to each other? Why? It's sickening already when you see them jumping out of cars, shooting up streets, and shooting each other in the streets, and they don't have no.
I mean, 52 were shot in Chicago over the weekend. My goodness, but there was, you know, you want to talk. There's an epidemic in Chicago of gang violence.
I'm white. I must be a racist, Weezy, because I choose to live in a white neighborhood where I'm safer because I'm tired of ducking.
Well, you're in an interracial family too. Your wife is a Latina.
I understand that, but we're in a safe place because they're not drive-bys. You go to Riviera Beach, you go up and down the coast. You see black areas shoot each other, and they get on and the ministers get on TV and they say, "We're so sorry, we got to do something."
So why do you think Don Lemon lives in a neighborhood that's only 3% black?
He wants to be safe. Safe.
Spike Lee's neighborhood in New York is not safe. Harlem. I don't know if that's a black neighborhood anymore, Harlem, but you know.
Look, it's not safe at all. And I came from Brian, really quick. I came from the Bronx. I lived in the Bronx. The Bronx was safe. The Bronx turned into disgusting. And look what's going on in the Bronx. This is happening all over the country. And Weezy's talking about the white guy. Forget it. The black people are black people.
All right, Richie the bus driver, take care. If you're on hold, don't go anywhere. We're going to take our break 20 minutes after 7 o'clock in the morning. I'm Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. We'll be right back.
Checked the temperature this morning before I left. The high today is going to be almost 90 degrees here in South Florida. The hot weather, it's already here, and it's only going to get hotter. On the line from Cut My Kilowatts, we have Scott from Cut My Kilowatts. He's going to tell you how he can save you big money on your electric bill.
We're facing the onslaught of summer here, and a lot of people are going to be noticing that, if they haven't noticed already, that their air conditioning...
If you're new here, make sure you subscribe, and everybody in there, do me a favor.
A lot of times the air conditioner can't even keep up with the...
How do I do that? Make sure you like the video.
Temperature set in your house at 74, and you'll look at the thermostat, it'll be at 76 or 77 or even 78.
Yeah.
Even as high as 80. So what we do is cutmykilowatts.com, and we've been doing radio barrier in South Florida for 10 years. I mean, we did Steve Kane's house probably 10 years ago when I first started doing this in South Florida. Radio barrier stops the heat gain in the house, lowers the temperature in the attic 30 to 40 degrees, literally cuts the air AC runtime in half, and lets you a lot of money.
Let's explain to people what radiant barrier is. We have known Scott from Cut My Kilowatts for well over a decade. He's with us every summer here on the Steve Kane Show. In the heat of the summer, the attic, how hot does an attic get during the summer, Scott?
It can get, depending on what kind of roof it has, whether it's shingle or tile, shingle being the hottest, 140, 150, even 160 degrees.
Yeah, and what that does is that 150, 160 degree heat in your attic makes your ceiling
hot, and of course your air conditioning ducts are in your ceiling. It heats them up, and it makes your air conditioner work longer, harder, causing your electric bill going up, struggling to keep your house cool. So Scott has the radiant barrier. So tell people what radiant barrier is and how it works.
Radiant barrier is like a big aluminum foil tarp that goes on the underside of the roof deck below the trusses, so there's an air gap so it doesn't damage the roof. And it basically just turns the heat wave that comes down off the roof around and pushes it back up out the roof. So it makes your roof function like a white shingle reflective roof. You know, you see those white roofs on people's houses. They put them on because it cuts their electric bill 25-30%. Same thing with radiant barrier. You put it in on the underside of your roof deck. You know, it's like $1 a square foot. I mean, you've got a special, if you spend 1,000 square feet or more, you get an additional $500 off. So, I mean, it's very reasonable. It's very affordable. This time of year, you know, you're getting it for half price, plus you're getting additional money off. We also do traditional insulation, and we do ductwork. So we can do like the complete job in your attic, whatever you need up in your attic. Insulation, ductwork, you know, radiant barrier. We can do the whole package.
Now listen,
We do that for a lot of people.
it's getting hot today. It's going to be about 88, 89 degrees here in South Florida. We're not in the hottest heat of the summer yet. We will be soon. And because of that...
Yeah, make sure you like the video if you're new here, all right, guys?
It's super, super hot because as it gets hotter and hotter, it's more difficult for his crew to work in the attic. Now it's not quite as hot. They can get the work done faster, can spend more time in the attic. I'm going to give you Scott from Cut My Kilowatts. I'm going to give you his website and his number. If you miss this, it's listed at SteveKaneShow.com. First, you can give Scott...
Coming back in just a moment.
954-939-1500. 954-939-1500. Online, cutmykilowatts.com. And again, listed at SteveKaneShow.com. Scott will save you money on your electric bill this and every summer. All right, Scott from Cut My Kilowatts, have a great day. We will talk later in the week.
Listen to the Steve
All right.
Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for W.
All right, welcome back. I'm Brian. You're listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. All right, let's go back to the phones. You're on the radio. What's your name? Good morning.
I'm sorry. I did not mean to bring up your cat. I know you're going to hang up.
Oh, Wheezy? Yeah, well, what about, I appreciate that, but you accused but what about you, thank you, I accept your apology about the cat, but you accused people in...
Today.
They didn't call you the N-word today, so you take that back.
The N-word today. I'm talking about in other times, weeks ago, months ago. That's what I was talking about. I didn't mean to...
No one in this audience is... No, if somebody in this audience... If somebody in this list... Okay, thank you. I accept your apology. If someone in this audience called you or anyone else the N-word, I would not tolerate it. I would stop it on a dime.
N-word 3 or 4 months.
Who? Nah. Well, I missed that, and shame on her if she did that. Okay, but you said today, I'll take your apology, 1 call per day. I will take your apology for what you said. Okay, now I got some information from one of our football fans in the listening audience. Someone sent me. Now, if you're just tuning in, we have the first out of the closet professional football player with the Las Vegas Raiders. He's come out of the closet as gay. Let me play the audio. Here we go.
People, I'm Carl Nassib. I'm at my house here in Westchester, Pennsylvania. Just want to take a quick moment to say that I'm gay. I've been meaning to do this for a while now, but I finally feel comfortable enough to get it off my chest. I really have the best life. I got the best family, friends, and job a guy could ask for. I'm a pretty private person, so I hope you guys know that I'm really not doing this for attention. I just think that representation and visibility are so important. I actually hope that one day videos like this and the whole coming out process are just not necessary. But until then, I'm going to do my best and do my part to cultivate a culture that's accepting, that's compassionate, and I'm going to start by donating $100,000 to the Trevor Project. They're an incredible organization. They're the #1 suicide prevention service for LGBTQ youth in America, and they're truly doing incredible things. And I'm very excited to be a part of it, to help in any way that I can, and I'm really pumped to see what the future holds. That's all I have for you guys. I hope you have a great day. Work hard.
Okay, work hard. Okay, so he is the first openly gay NFL player, and I was talking in the first hour about this. When I see someone who all of a sudden comes out of the closet these days, you know, this is not controversial, right? It's not controversial. Nobody cares about who's gay anymore. But to me, when I see someone doing that today, it's all about the Benjamins, right? It's about an opportunity to get endorsements. And I don't think it's been missed by this guy that this U.S. women's team soccer player is now got this huge deal with Victoria's Secret. By the way, what do you guys think about that? You know, Victoria's Secret, is it smart with their, you know, to the ladies in the audience? The ladies in the audience. This new marketing campaign that they're doing at Victoria's Secret with Patti LuPone from the soccer team, I don't know her name is, with the pink hair and the obese women and everything. Is this going to make you go into Victoria's Secret? Now, this is this is my understanding of why women go to Victoria's Secret. They want to look sexy, right? For their partner and maybe themselves. I don't know. But is this going to make women go or not want to go? And the soccer player, does she look like a woman who's wearing Victoria's Secret undergarments? To me, she looks like she wears a sports bra and boxer shorts. Probably is what Rachel Maddow wears too. And that's fine. I'm not judging them. It doesn't seem to be a very good marketing technique to me. Some people say it is, that they're more representative of the average woman now. I don't know. Okay, but anyway, back to the football player who's come out as gay. He's not the first football player who's gay. He's the first one that's openly gay while he's playing. And I was talking, and I know nothing of football. Nothing. I've never heard of this guy. I thought the Raiders were in L.A. I didn't know they were in Vegas. I didn't even know. I'm serious. That's how little I know about sports. I don't talk about sports. I only talk about things I know about. But I asked the audience. You know, we were on the air. Steve Kane Show has been on the air since before there was an internet. So before there was Google, we used to ask people in the listening audience. You were our search engine to give us answers. So this guy, Carl Nassib, is that his name? Nassib? Carl Nassib? Okay. Is he a great player or mediocre player? I don't know. Is he coming out of the closet to dare them from cutting him? Is he coming out of the closet just to get some endorsement deals? And this is what I got. One of our listeners, Tommy, messaged me on the Twitter and said this. He is no big deal. He played for the Browns in Tampa Bay, but he never played. So he was a bench warmer for the Browns and the Buccaneers. Is that true? He was a member of the team but didn't play for the Browns, or he never made it out on the field? He was a bench warmer? I don't know. This is what Tommy said. I'll throw this out. 1-888-GO-CANE-1. He's no big deal. He was on the Browns in Tampa Bay, but he never played. He played college football at Penn State, was drafted by the Cleveland Browns. I expect them to start going after that team name, by the way. The Cleveland Browns, even though it doesn't involve race. It's named after a great coach for the team, is what I believe. Coach Brown, is that true? I think that is, but they'll probably try to get the Browns to change their name. He was drafted by the Cleveland Browns in the 3rd round of the 2016 NFL Draft. He was the number 65 draft pick overall that year in 2016. Does that make him average, mediocre, bench warmer? At what level of play is the number 65 draft pick in 2016? And what is, I don't know. I know nothing of football. I cannot give analysis. I've never heard of this guy before. I'm asking you out there in the audience that have some knowledge to let me know. 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. Let's take our break for the bottom of the hour, and we will be back after this. Don't go anywhere.
Hi, my name is Tom Laporta, the owner of Laporta Contracting.
Steve Kane Show. Hey, Mike. On.
1982. We are state of Florida certified roofing and general contractors focusing on residential and commercial roofing, impact windows, and building restoration. The 2021 hurricane season is upon us. If you have noticed any water stains on your ceiling, or if your roof is older than 15 years, you will want to call us to come out and evaluate your roof. Our services run from minor...
Yeah, what happened to Michael Sam? That's a good question. Michael Sam's probably asking that same question. What happened to me?
Asphalt shingles, clay or concrete tiles, standing metal seam, wood shakes, and slate tile systems. Call us at 954-604-4602 for a free home inspection and estimate. Again, that number is 954-604-4602.
Stop paying an outrageous fortune for your tires. Go easy on your budget and buy your tires at Friendly Tire in Margate, where they have all the major brands like Goodyear and Firestone at discount prices that absolutely can't be beaten. Steve Kane's tires for his Toyota van at the other shops, $175 a tire. At Friendly Tire, just $75 a tire. That's a $100 savings per tire. Tires for my daughter Emily's car, $135 at the shops around town. The price at Friendly Tire, only $65. That's a $70 savings per tire. These prices are out the door and on the road. Free mounting and balancing and no added charges. Friendly Tire have a great selection of good used tires too, starting at just $30 for most cars. Call my good buddy Friendly Mike at Friendly Tire. Tell him what you drive and he will give you a great low price right over the phone. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445.
I took the post. I got to put a new piece of tape on it. It was about to fall. Steve Kane Show. I know. That's why. People read into stuff too much. I thought I would take it down before it fell.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WWNN.
Alrighty, it is 34 minutes after the hour. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. On the radio since 1977. Our number, toll-free, 1-888-COCAINE-1. Mike in Boca. Hey, Mike. Mike in Boca, you're on the air. Maybe.
Football player, I saw the Instagram last night, and at first, if you watch it, I almost thought he was, I almost thought this was a big joke, because the first 10 seconds, he almost kind of, he almost thought he was about to laugh, but I guess that's the way his demeanor is. But the gentleman who gave you the stats, I have a feeling that, I don't know, I've never heard of him. He's only been around for a couple of years. There are some in third round picks.
Well, what I'm hearing is, okay, this is again what I've heard about the player that came out of the closet. He was a bench warmer for Tampa Bay. He was a bench warmer for the Cleveland Browns, and he was the number 65 draft pick. So what I'm trying to find now, he's with the Raiders. Is he a mediocre player? Is he average, below average? Is this an attempt to get to dare the team to cut him? A lot of times, who was that basketball player who was out of the closet a couple?
Yeah, this is an attempt. He's probably looking at his stats and looking at organizations. He probably came up with this himself because he's probably not going to be anything more than he is right now, which is a mediocre.
Well, if you are like that Dana Kirkpatrick, whatever her name was, the lady race car driver, she was a mediocre racer. She was losing races. She never was winning anything. But because she was this woman driver, she had all these huge endorsement deals and made millions of dollars. So this guy here has now opened the door to all these endorsement deals, or maybe he's daring them not to cut him. It's hard to cut the first openly gay NFL player.
Well, I can't remember his name because he was mediocre player.
There was
4 years ago, and he a team caught him, and then he came up.
Steve Kane Show.
2 or 3 of the teams picked him up, but
Hold
he
on.
never used him.
That's right. I can't remember his name either. If anybody remembers that guy, let us know.
2017, I think.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, was it Michael Sam, or was that basketball?
Yeah, I think no. I have to I'll DM you. I'll look it up.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so there's something. It's no longer, it's not a big deal to come out as gay anymore. Like I said in the first hour, what would surprise people is if somebody came out as straight. Then people are like, oh my goodness, I had no idea. Yeah, yeah.
His first phone call, but
Oh, it was brutal.
so I heard.
Her call, I mean, it was so bad. She called in and tried to do an apology there. I mean, she went way over the line today.
I was watching Newsmax last night, and I put on my polo that I did not watch the news all weekend, and I watched it last night. It was terrible. I mean,
Newsmax TV was terrible. What happened? What happened?
the news was terrible. The news, as far as the murders over the weekend.
Are you talking about the Juneteenth celebrations? Yeah, the Juneteenth celebrations. Yeah.
That poor guy coming from the Puerto Rican rally, getting pulled. I thought they said it terrible. Getting pulled out.
Yeah, it was. Well, listen, I'm gonna move on, Mike. But yeah, that's gonna be. I guess that's how you celebrate Juneteenth. I don't know. You know, 4th of July is like hot dogs, hamburgers, and barbecues, and Juneteenth is like drive-bys and other things. And twerking. Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name?
Good morning, Brian. John from Boynton Beach.
Hey, John. I'm all right, John. What's up?
Good. Probably, if this guy's out on the bench, he's probably less than mediocre. And he's been cut a couple of times, so who cares? I don't watch football or any of the sports where these guys are dealing.
Well, it's important to know because he's going to be celebrated now because he's the first NFL player to come out as gay. And what I'm wondering is he daring them not cut him?
And, you know, he could possibly be disruptive to this team. You know, the guys are in the locker room, they're getting undressed together, you know, it's like, it could be a problem there. You know, these guys, these football players are real macho guys, you know? And so it could cause problem in the locker room. You never can tell.
And by the way, that would be normal. I mean, would they let us use the ladies' locker room? I mean, I wouldn't necessarily mind being in the cheerleaders' locker room, but I don't think they would let us in there.
Now, as far as the transsexuals go, they should have their own Olympics. They should have their like the Special Olympics. They should have their own Olympics.
Oh, yeah. Oh. Yeah. All right. That's good. That's not a bad idea. The Trans Olympic. All right, take care, man. Appreciate it. You're on the radio. Good morning.
Yeah, how you doing, Brian? You know, I played for Penn State, the guy, and for the first, you know, my brother had three kids that graduated Penn State. All of them are right around his age, so I saw him play in college. Funny thing is, his freshman, sophomore, junior year, he never played. You can Google it. He only started his season.
Well, he's been on at least 3 teams in like 4 seasons, so he must not be that great.
He went to Cleveland. They got rid of him. They traded him, but he was on Tampa Bay for 2 years. So if he was if he was decent, and you're in Florida, you would have heard a little bit about him. You know, especially. And then he went to. You know, he didn't just get drafted. He's been on the Raiders last year. He started all year. He has 1 interception in 5 years in 5 years in the NFL.
So you're suggesting that maybe he's afraid of getting cut and he's doing this so they don't cut him?
He just made himself $10 million. He's gonna have every endorsement. He's gonna be all over the Gatorade commercials. You know, he's gonna be all over the place now. He's gonna be on all. You know, be a Victoria's Secret. He's gonna be the head spokesman for Victoria's Secret.
Yeah, their men's collection. Yes.
Wait, Brian, before you hang up, I know the only reason I was Limbo's show yesterday because you said it was Clay Travis' first day. And boy, did they set up President Trump. I can't believe it.
What'd they do?
Well, they did exactly what you said. They said, first of all, everybody had listened to Clay Travis. 95% of his audience is liberal. It's ESPN. ESPN through Fox Sports News. It's all liberal. Matt Kellerman, Stephen A. Smith. That's all he talked about is race every day for 10 years. So the first thing he did was they said, let's run a poll between they talked about the straw poll that you were talking about. Probably got it from your show. So they ran a poll, and all of a sudden DeSantis comes out almost 80%, and Trump is 20%. So Buck Saxton right away says, "Oh, we have a problem now. I think we have to back DeSantis in the 2024 election because Trump."
Come on, Buck Sexton said that on the very first show.
I sent you on Twitter the results of the poll, and Clay Travis said he couldn't believe the results that it showed.
How did they do this poll on their website on the callers? What'd they do?
Right on Twitter.
Oh, they did? Okay, wait, then let me slow down. I just want to get this straight because I want to ask other people to call in that were tuned in. Clay Travis and Buck Sexton did a poll on their Twitter, DeSantis versus Trump. DeSantis got 80% and Trump got 20%.
Yeah, it was on Clay Travis's Twitter. If you go to it now, I sent you the results of the poll, about 40,000 to 50,000. But they were talking about your straw poll, so they said that by Newsweek, they said 74%, 71%.
So that's interesting. So they spent the first show replacing Rush Limbaugh. Yeah, I got the poll. You sent me a screenshot, and it was 67% DeSantis, 28% Trump, 2 Cruz, 3 Pompeo. Wow, 83,000 plus votes. That's see, I told you guys.
Wait, I'm gonna let you go because I know you got a lot of votes. But they started the show off with that, so it was a 3-hour poll, and every half an hour he was up there. All they talked about was the poll. You could have done that on each.
Well, I think that I'll give them credit for coming out of the closet as never Trumpers on day one.
You called it. You're the best. You're Michael Jordan, buddy. I love you.
Yeah, that's right. Just less paid and white. Wow. Did any of you guys catch that yesterday? Wow. Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name?
Hi, Brian. It's Sandra.
Hey, Sandra.
From Boca. How are you?
All right.
I just wanted to make a comment about what we guys were discussing earlier about the racism and all that. When we were kids, you remember those shows like Sanford and Son and All in the Family and The Jeffersons? When they had those shows, they were using the N-word very, very freely, even African-American characters with African-American characters. So when I listen to people like Wheezy that have this distorted view at this point, did she ban those shows when she was a kid? Did she not watch them?
Well, here's the thing. No one called her. She said that in the chat room, you guys can go back, and if you go on my YouTube video, you can rewind it to that portion of the show. You can listen to the overnight rebroadcast. She said in our chat room that multiple people were calling her the N-word live while she was on the phone. It was a complete lie. She called in and tried to say, Stella did this weeks and months ago, and which we can't go back and verify. And I think she hallucinates that. And I'll remember, John Lewis, who died last year. I met John Lewis once, and I was honored to meet him because he worked directly with Martin Luther King, and I shook his hand and told him I was proud to meet him. Okay, because he fought against Democrats in Selma, and John Lewis had his head bashed in as a freedom rider by a white Democrat. I was honored to meet him, but on the day that the Obamacare vote came down in the House of Representatives, John Lewis and the Black Caucus decided not to take the underground subway to the House that they normally take. They went through the crowd of protesters, of Republicans. John Lewis said that they were calling him the N-word. Andrew Breitbart was still alive and offered a 6-figure reward for any videotape of anyone calling the John Lewis or any member of the Black Caucus the N-word. No one came forward. It didn't exist. And people were calling John Lewis a liar, and I said, no, he wasn't lying. He was hallucinating. He actually thought that he heard it. And that's what happened with Wheezy today. She was delusional.
Back then in the 70s, what I'm trying to say is when those programs were aired, they were using the N-word, and these were...
You know what? I used to watch The Jeffersons and All in the Family. I don't remember the N-word regularly being used.
Where?
Okay, maybe they've edited it out in syndication and it's revisionist memories,
It was.
Well, listen, this is what you got to understand about All in the Family and its spinoffs, which were Maude and The Jeffersons, okay? Norman Lear was a liberal, okay? And Archie Bunker was a caricature of what he wanted to believe that Republicans were like. So, you gotta look at All in the Family under that. He did get Meathead right, a bum, didn't want to work, who lived at home, Carl Reiner. All right, hey, listen, I appreciate the call, Sandra. All right, take care. If you're on hold, don't go anywhere. We're going to take our last break of the second hour. Steve Kane will be joining us in a bit. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. We'll be right back.
Hi,
Hi, this is Lori Kane, and I want to talk to you about Dr. Gupta at Brighton Dental Care. I just love Dr. Gupta. I've been seeing him for around 3 years. He always has time for me. He never does unnecessary work, and his prices are very affordable. And if you need implants, go see him because he has the best prices around. Let me give you the number. Write it down. It's 954-922-4633. That's 954-922-4633, BrightonDentalCare.com. He's just the best.
Did you know that 2 out of 5 Americans suffer from some kind of allergy? So it's likely that fatigue, runny nose, headaches, intestinal problems, and a general lousy feeling can be connected to an allergy. Any lab tests now of Boca Raton offer allergy tests that can detect over 125 airborne, food, and environmental allergens. Allergy testing is quick, easy, and painless. Results can be shared with your physician or an allergist. No doctor's order or prescription is necessary. No appointment either. Just walk right in. Any lab test now of Boca Raton is located at 23016 Sandalfoot Plaza on the east side of 441, just a few doors down from Western Beef. If you have any questions, call 561-237-5009. 561-237-5009. Any lab tests now of Boca Raton. Make sure you tell them you heard about them on The Steve Kane Show.
Listen to The Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WWN.
All right, welcome back. Yes, 48 minutes after 7. If you're on hold, stand by. I'm going to go back to the phones in just a moment. I'm Brian. You're listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show, on the radio since 1977. Now, I talked yesterday to Mike Lindell's office in Minnesota. I talked directly to them, and they have a new special that they want me to share with you and this audience. And let me tell you, Mike Lindell needs your help. He's lost over $70 million this year. Over $70 million he's lost because he's supporting Trump. You saw this story. At the height of the COVID pandemic, at his own expense, he shut down his factory for manufacturing pillows and his other great products to make masks because the hospitals were saying they didn't have enough PPE or whatever they called it to go around. And he made masks, and he lost $7 million on this because the hospitals wouldn't take them. Why? Because he's MAGA, because he's a Trump guy. He's lost $65 million on sales because the retailers have locked him out. But in spite of all that, he funds Frank's speech. He funds these rallies. He's got a big rally coming up next month. Just had one a couple weeks ago. Stand with Mike Lindell. Go to mypillow.com. Use the promo code Kane because you're also standing with and supporting the Steve Kane Show too, which is very important. Use the promo code Kane at checkout, K-A-N-E. There's incredible deals there. But there's one that you will want to take advantage of, and this is what Mike Lindell's office called me about specifically yesterday. This one is going to be for a limited time because they're going to run out of stock. They are now offering, with the MyPillow Giza Dream Sheets, 100% Giza cotton, buy one set, get a second set free when you use the promo code Kane at checkout. And my wife is ordering this deal today. We already have one set. They didn't have the special. We only had one set. Now we're going to have 3 sets because we're getting this. And this is what I did not know. My wife showed me this last night. You can order both in different colors. You can even order one in regular Giza cotton and one sheets and the other flannel Giza cotton sheets. I did not know you could do that. But, you know, the ladies, they know these things. So stand with Mike Lindell. Go to mypillow.com. Take advantage of that incredible deal and support the Steve Kane Show at the same time. Promo code Kane at checkout, K-A-N-E. Oh, I forgot to mention, buy one set, get a second set free, and free shipping. Free shipping, too. You can also order by phone, 800-716-4879. And those of you that are watching on YouTube, I put the link at the top of the YouTube live chat to go directly to the deal. Promo code Kane, K-A-N-E. You're on the radio. Good morning.
Hi, Joellen from Fort Lauderdale.
Good morning, Joellen. Yes.
How you doing?
Okay.
So 2 things. The gay football player, I heard it yesterday. I said, who gives a crap that you're gay? It's just like Brian Craig said, like Dean Trantellis, living in the past like it's a big deal anymore. So, and I think you're right about that, Michael Siam. I think it was an Asian football player that came out.
I think somebody came out after they were in the NFL when they left. This guy is supposedly the first active player, although I'm told that he's a bench warmer.
That Asian guy was that he was still on a football player.
I don't know. I don't know. I just know I don't know anything about sports.
Nobody cares that they're gay. I have an acquaintance that had gotten into an accident and went to Holy Cross. I shouldn't say they went to a Catholic hospital, and he said that they had asked him what religion he was, and realized he was gay, and he said that they totally treated him differently after that. I said, I've been to the hospital, I've never heard.
Oh, that's interesting. So when he called a lawyer to sue because they wouldn't give him life-saving treatment in the emergency room because he's gay, what was his lawsuit? How much did he win in his lawsuit?
Yeah, he didn't.
Of course not.
That up, but
yeah, because it didn't happen. Give me a break.
The other thing is Buck Sexton. I was listening to the show. They were doing the straw poll. I tried to get into the calls to let them know that per the Steve Kane show, they were saying that people were allowed to vote twice or more. And yes, these guys are never Trumpers. I said it all along. Listened to his show before from 9 to 12. So, yeah, he was saying that DeSantis was, I think it was like 70%, and Trump was 27 or something like that. And they also had Ted Cruz and Mike Pompeo in that mix. It was the four of them.
Well, let me tell you something here, okay? Let me tell you, I'm glad they did that, and I did not hear it personally. I'm hearing it from two callers, and I did see the poll because the last caller did send me the poll, and I did look at it when I was talking to him. I'm glad they did that. I'm glad on the first day they came out of the closet to the listening audience to tell you who they are, never Trumpers. And I told you this was going on. I told you guys this was going on. Buck Sexton from the CIA and from the Glenn Beck world, and this guy Trey Aiken. I don't know what is. I don't know. I told you guys, and it dishonors Rush Limbaugh. And for them to bill that show as inspired by Rush, what, back in his liberal days? You know, I mean, what did they mean by that? That's a disgrace that they did that yesterday, and it dishonors Rush Limbaugh. And but at least they were honest on day one to tell you that they're never Trumpers by doing that. That's really sad. You know, Rush Limbaugh. Let me tell you, I didn't listen to Rush all that much. Okay, there's two reasons why. The time of day, but I don't listen to a lot of talk radio, and the reason I don't is because I don't want to be talking about what they're talking about. I don't want to be forced into talking about things. I don't want to have a take on something that was kind of fed to me by another person. I want to kind of have my own perspective and topics. I do listen to talk radio, but I don't listen to it as much as I used to because of that reason. But I do love talk radio. I respect talk radio, and even more so, I respect the talk radio audience. I personally believe that the talk radio audience are the most educated, well-informed, smartest people in this country when it comes to news and issues. And I think the listeners will smell that crap a mile away, that stunt that they pulled yesterday. And it dishonors Rush Limbaugh. Rush Limbaugh spent his entire adult life building something, and they just, you know what they did to it yesterday. I can't say on the air the word I'd say off the air. But that's terrible. I would love to have a private conversation with Mark Stein about that.
Yeah, so Buck Sexton, yeah, I always said that after listening to his shows from 9 to 12. I said, this guy is, whenever he would diss Trump, I just had to turn it. I said,
this pisses me off to hear this. It really does. It really pisses me off. But like I say, at least they came about it honestly on day one. What was their reaction to the straw poll results, their push poll? What was their results, their response?
They were happy. You could tell that they were happy. They're pushing DeSantis, you know.
Listen, I love Ron DeSantis. He's the greatest governor ever. But this divide that they're trying to do between Trump, this yesterday, following that other fake straw poll, is meant to try to divide President Trump from DeSantis. These guys are tight, like me and Steve, or Abbott and Costello, or Martin and Lewis before they had their falling out. You know what I mean? They're tight, like George and Gracie. And they're trying to divide the two of them. And they're also trying to get a narrative going that people are tired of Trump and want to move on to DeSantis.
That's fatigue, Trump fatigue.
Yeah. Holy smokes.
Always a Trumper.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm wearing a Trump T-shirt right now. I want to hear. I've heard from 2 listeners now that heard this yesterday. I want to hear from some other people that were tuned into this new program to share your thoughts on what they did. Like I say, at least they've gone about it honestly. Okay, they didn't pretend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, go ahead.
Say one more thing about Trump. One of the guys in the Capitol breach had come out, and they said it wasn't on the Buck Sexton. He is now, after all this experience, him being arrested, blah blah blah. He is now a never Trumper. He is not.
Well, their attorneys are telling them blame Trump and you'll get a deal. You know what I mean? They're trying to be. They're kind of like trying to be informants. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
All right. Take care. Take care. All right. We don't have much time until the break, but Steve Kane, you ready with us here? Well, listen. We only have a.
On this poll, it's a bad sign that the first day these guys are on the air, they do a poll, any poll, forgetting about the Trump aspect of it. It's just an easy show. I would hope on a first show to get something more creative, something that stands out, from all the other shows, and they didn't do it. It's a cheap show.
Well, I agree with that. We don't do polls here, because that, what that's called? That's called killing time. Is what it's called. But this one was a little different, and we only have a second here or two before we got a break for the top. But I want to fill up. If you're on hold, don't go anywhere. But I want to hear from some people that tuned into this show that they bill it as inspired by Rush. It says on the website. If you're just tuning in, let me just recap what happened according to 2 listeners, because of our 2 callers that heard it yesterday. On the first show, the Buck Sexton Clay Travis show, or is it Clay Aiken? I'm not sure. They did a poll, Trump versus DeSantis. They also had Pompeo and Cruz there too, but DeSantis came out with about 80%, and about 20% went towards Trump. And callers are telling us they were very happy. They came out of the closet as never Trumpers on day one. Now, I respect their honesty and not try to pretend to be something they're not, but I find that to be dishonoring Rush. I find it to be a disgrace, and I find it to be an insult to the audience. Let's take our break. I want to hear your calls on this. Steve Kane obviously is here. It's 8 a.m. Our number, 1-888-GO-KANE, 1-888-465-2631. 2 hours down, 1 to go. It's 8 a.m. We'll be right back.
Covered. AM 1470, FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network. WWNN, Pompano Beach.
I checked the temperature this morning before I left. The high today is going to be almost 90 degrees here in South Florida. The hot weather, it's already here, and it's only going to get hotter. On the line from Cut My Kilowatts, we have Scott from Cut My Kilowatts. He's going to tell you how he can save you big money on your electric bill.
We're facing the onslaught of summer here.
Well, let's do our own poll. I mean, I hate to do it because I hate to cause a divide between Trump and DeSantis, but this new show that's replacing Rush, give 1 if you're going to listen, 2 if you're not going to listen to this Buck Sexton, Clay Travis show. 1, you're going to listen, 2, you're not.
Even as high as 80. So what we do is cutmykilowatts.com, and we've been doing Radio Bear in South Florida for 10 years.
2 is no, 1 is you will listen.
Probably 10 years ago when I first started doing this in South Florida. Radio Bear stops the heat in the house, lowers the temperature in the attic 30 to 40 degrees, literally cuts the air AC runtime in half, and saves you a lot of money.
Let's explain
Yeah.
to people what radiant barrier is. We have known Scott from Cut My Kilowatts for well over a decade. He's with us every summer here on the Steve Kane Show. In the heat of the summer, the attic, how hot does an attic get during the summer?
Wow.
It
There's no 4. It's either 1, you will, 2, you will not listen. Wow. We have 2 liberals in there that says they will. Everyone else is a no. Oh, we got a 3rd. Yes, another liberal.
Causing your electric bill going up, struggling to keep your house cool. So Scott has the radiant barrier. So tell people what radiant.
Well, I want to hear from you guys. Call in and tell me your thoughts on this. Radio Shemroon, $20 super chat. Thank you so much. Everyone thank Radio for that $20 super chat. Thank you so much. Wesley, $5 super chat. Everyone thank Wesley. I tweeted the link to Newsmax Straw Bowl to Sexton when I listened. Sexton and Travis and called out their own. Yeah. Yeah, I appreciate those super chats because my videos, because of my conservative content, do not get monetized all the time by YouTube. So those super chats are very much welcome.
Now listen,
Steve Kane Show.
It's getting hot today. It's going to be about 89
Steve Kane Show.
degrees here in South Florida. We're
Hold
not
on,
in the
hold on.
hottest heat of the summer yet. We will be soon. And because of that, Scott, he's offering a great discount before it gets super, super hot because as it gets hotter and hotter, it's more difficult for his crew to work in the attic. Now, it's not quite as hot. They can get the work done faster, can spend more time in the attic. I want to give you Scott from Cut My Kilowatts. I'm going to give you his website and his number. If you miss this, it's listed at stevekaneshow.com. First, you can give Scott a call at 954-939-1500. 954-939-1500. Online, cutmykilowatts.com. And again, listed at stevekaneshow.com. Scott will save you money on your electric bill this and every summer. All right, Scott from Cut My Kilowatts, have a great day. We will talk later in the week.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by Attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time of your passing? Avoid probate. Call the Siegel Law Group with 9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll-free 1-855-FLA-3782.
You are listening to South Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. To call the show toll-free, dial 1-888-GO-KANE-1. That's 1-888-GO-KANE-1.
All right, 5 after 8, third hour has begun. This is the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian. Steve Kane is here. There's only one opening on our board, and let me just recap what we were talking about before the break, and then we want to take calls on this. Yesterday was the first day of the Rush replacement. Buck Sexton and Clay Travis, they did a straw poll on their own show, which shows that 80% of their listeners want DeSantis to be the nominee in 2024 and have Trump fatigue. Trump got 20%, and they came out of the closet as never Trumpers. So we want to hear your thoughts and reactions to this, and will you abandon the program over that? 1-888-GO-KANE-1. There's only one opening on the board. You're on the radio. What's your name? Good morning, caller.
Morning.
Yes, good morning.
Yeah, this is Dave. You know, I was thinking about the show. Buck Sexton, you know, has a background with CIA,
yep,
which is a little bit suspect, but I think he's pretty much a straight shooter. But anybody filling Rush's shoes is going to have a major problem unless they establish their credibility and honesty right off the bat. And, you know, hopefully it will work out, but those are some big...
Well, do you think... we're not talking about the talent aspect. We're talking about the political viewpoint. What do you think about them coming out honestly about being never Trumpers on day one?
Well, they're going to have to explain that. And, you know, again, you know, the background with CIA and, you know, all the stories about Anderson Cooper having interned for a few years with CIA, and then, you know, the stories about CIA getting involved with American news and Cooper, you know, with his background in CIA, he's going to have that little cloud over his head, and he's going to have to get that out of the way. And he's just going to have to speak truth and explain.
All right, well, you're saying a lot, but I'm not hearing too many opinions, but appreciate the call. Good morning, you're on the radio.
Hello?
Yes, you're on the air. What's your name?
Jessie.
Jesse, go ahead, Jesse.
Jesse's girl.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so I listened to it in the beginning, and they immediately came out with the same song from the woman from The Pretenders that Rush would play every, you know, again.
Oh, okay.
And then they started getting calls, and there was one caller, and he was saying that instead of Trump syndrome, whatever it was,
Trump derangement syndrome?
yeah, but he said that it was something else like getting tired of Trump.
Wait a minute. The first caller said they were tired of Trump?
It wasn't the first caller. It was in the first hour.
Okay.
Took a call, and I don't remember the guy's name, but it kind of made me mad because they let him go on about how people are just tired of Trump.
Well, okay, now hold on a second here. I want to slow down because it's okay to take a call like that. We'd take those calls. What was their but what I'm interested in, hold on, what I'm interested in is their reaction to the call.
Okay, so the reaction was, oh yeah, I've heard a lot of people say that, oh yeah, and then they started off saying the straw poll. They started talking about the straw poll, and then they said, go to their Twitter handle and vote. Well, here's the thing. I was on Twitter, and when Trump got banned from it, about 80 million people got banned from it. So there's so many Trump supporters that could not...
Well, a lot of Trump people did leave. So it sounds to me like the call was a setup call leading them into their plan to have the straw poll.
Exactly. And I never heard of this guy until you talked about him on your show like a couple weeks ago, and I didn't know he voted for Obama. I don't know how he voted.
Yeah, Clay Travis? Yes. Yeah.
I don't know how he voted in 2016 or 2020, but I'm telling you, I remember when Trump was elected, and I remember Buck Sexton and even Tucker Carlson, they were saying, yeah, we didn't vote for him. We didn't vote for him. And
wait, I don't know. Wait a second. I don't know if Tucker Carlson ever said who he voted for in the general election or the primary.
The general.
Nah, he said Tucker Carlson said that he did not vote for Donald Trump in the general election. He voted for Hillary Clinton. I don't believe that. I'd have to hear that. I would have to hear that with my own ears.
Brian, I did not say he voted for Hillary. I'm saying he said he did not vote for Trump.
I'd have to hear him. I'd have to hear that with my own ears. But hey, listen, I thank you for your call. Appreciate the call. Good morning. You're on the radio. Good morning, caller.
No, I listened to the whole thing.
Okay.
I did it for the last 2 months. I thought it was a great show. He's a little impartial, don't get me wrong, but he's starting out new and he's just playing in the middle. I agree with the last two callers. You're right. He does answer those phone calls, those tough ones, and he just plays it. Well, that's your opinion. You're welcome to it.
Oh, gee, thank you.
I mean, replacing Rush is tough.
Well, what are your thoughts on them coming out as never Trumpers?
Not thrilled about it, but I mean, again, I think he's trying to play both sides.
Well, that's not how you do a radio show. A radio show, you got to have a strong opinion. You're not wishy-washy.
He was never wishy-washy. He just understands the view of both sides. Like your caller, this is
There's not. What are the two? What are the two sides? DeSantis or Trump? There are not two sides to that. Trump and DeSantis are united as one. This is a division that's being created by the never Trumpers.
Official division.
And Buck Sexton being from the CIA, this division between Trump and DeSantis is psyops.
Again, what he's trying to say is that, and I personally don't think Trump would be a great. I would love.
Well, and that, of course, you're a never Trumper too.
No, I just think they would torture him to death, and nothing would ever get.
Yeah. Oh, okay, nothing would get done. So you're a never Trumper too. Sounds like you got a lot done.
I voted for Trump. I supported Trump. I know so much about Trump. I watched every article, every news.
Yeah, but you're telling us that in the future, moving forward, all we have is your word on that. But you're telling us in the future he would be ineffective. So you want DeSantis. See, this is.
The Democrats would torture him to death.
Well, and DeSantis, they'd give a free ride to, and they'd say, "Go ahead, do your thing."
It's bad. I don't think they would be.
Oh, really? Really?
You can question that.
Oh no! Every Republican is going to get it bad. They wanted to try George Bush as a war criminal with Cheney.
Yeah, but let's put it this way: when it comes to hatred of, they all hate the conservatives and they all hate Republicans, but their anger and their adverse reaction to Trump supersedes all other hate.
Oh, I'll agree they hate him more than others, but here the caller. See, what you're talking about is, there is no division among MAGA between Trump and DeSantis. Even among Trump and DeSantis are united. This is, yeah. Well, they got this fake straw poll from the weekend I exposed yesterday that people could vote multiple times, so they influenced that. And then the first day, the Rush replacement pull this crap. This new show is the Republican establishment at work I told you yesterday, they're trying to divide MAGA. That was the thumbnail on my YouTube video. They're trying to divide MAGA, and that's what the first show launched as yesterday. That was not an accident.
How it plays out.
Okay. Well, I'm here today. I can't wait till things play out to discuss them. We'd be doing a history show. All right, let's take another call before we break. You're on the radio. Good morning.
Good morning, Brian. Steve, hello, it's Vanessa.
Hey, Vanessa.
Hi. Mark Meadows said yesterday DeSantis will not run against Trump.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be one or the other. It's going to be one or the other.
It's going to be Trump. It's going to be Trump is who it's going to be.
But see what they're doing, Vanessa? Even among MAGA, they've got this discussion between Trump and DeSantis. There's already a split. It's already starting to start the discussion. Because to have let me tell you why. To have the discussion in itself is to diss one of them. I love them both. Ron DeSantis is the best governor in the history of governors. I've got not one negative word to say about the man. But if they get us involved in this discussion, I've got to pick a side, Trump or DeSantis. They're asking you, which kid do you love the most? To try to get a division in the family.
Well, I put 2 in the chat because I will not be listening to that again.
Why? Okay, well, slow down. You would not be listening to this new Rush show. Why not?
No, I listened yesterday. That was 5 minutes of brown-nosing Rush, and then off they were to bash Trump.
And throw his legacy out the studio window. Let me ask you, Steve, and caller too. If Rush Limbaugh were with us and he heard that show yesterday, what would his thoughts be?
Oh, it's hard to say. It's hard to say. He would be flattered that that the recollection of him and the discussion of him extended, onto the new show. He'd be so.
I don't think so.
Good about it, but I'll tell you one thing about it. It's just a cheap show. To do a poll or to do anything like that is, I would have liked to have seen something fresh, something creative.
Analysis.
I mean, a quick sentence or two for Rush. Rush has been, the eulogy for Rush has gone on for how many months now? It's enough for it.
But I think you read it wrong, Steve. They weren't honoring Rush. They're using Rush to further their never Trump or Republican establishment agenda. That show.
They use Twitter just like the other.
It's like, I'll tell you what it's like. When Obama first became president in 2008, he was talking about Lincoln all the time. Oh, the team of rivals, and just like Lincoln, he was exploiting Lincoln for his own. This is what I'm hearing from the listening audience on the phones today about that show yesterday is disgust, except from the Never Trumper who was on the line before you. Hey, listen, Vanessa, thanks for the call. Now, you had an experience yesterday, Steve. You went up to Champaign Automotive in Boca Raton to have Tyler's air repaired, and you ran into a couple of Steve Kane listeners having their cars worked on.
2 Steve Kane listeners were standing there when he opened yesterday, and he was...
Oh. Yeah, well, Yeah. Whenever Steve and I are depressed, we just go to our sponsors and run into listeners, and just it makes us feel good. No, but listen, Champaign Automotive in Boca Raton. The reason that there were Steve Kane listeners out front waiting for the shop to open is because they tell you something that no other auto repair shop will tell you in the USA. They will never do a repair on your vehicle that your vehicle does not need. And I've had my cars worked on over there, and I just so that we can talk about them in the commercial, I do price comparisons between them and the other shops and the dealers. My daughter had the motor in one of her windows broke. I took it over to Champaign Automotive Repair to have the motor replaced. Now they had to get the part from the dealer, but even still, they charged me about 25% of what the dealer wanted for the very same work. And I checked around some other shops too, and they charge less than half of what the other shops wanted for the very same job. That's amazing, and that's absolutely amazing. Their prices are like out of the 80s.
I'll tell you how much they saved me tomorrow.
Oh, I'm sure a lot. Yeah, well, the price, I know a little bit about auto repair and cost and things like this. And Champaign Automotive's repairs, their prices are like out of the 80s and 90s. I'm not kidding you. Give them a call, 561-245-8101. 561-245-8101. We'll be right back.
I affirm that I will defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
Steve Kane Show.
The pledge to defend the Constitution is a
Hey, Barry.
action. They promise to defend the Constitution against any who change it by means other than the prescribed amendment process. Any bureaucrat who altered the meaning of the law outside the amendment process is a domestic enemy of America. Violating their oath, they are guilty of perjury. But there's more than just perjury here. There is malfeasance of office. The biggest criminal today is the leftist government itself. The president is supposed to enforce the laws of the United States and secure the general welfare. That means secure the economy. Biden canceled the XL pipeline, and then he lifted sanctions on Russia so they can build a pipeline to Germany. He is a domestic enemy, but President Biden is just a figurehead. It's the Democrat Party that is the domestic
Steve
enemy
Kane Show.
of the American people.
Steve Kane Show. Hold on.
Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WWNN.
Oh man, Christian Knuckles, he's always got a message there. All right, Steve, on the line we have your attorney. Attorney Barry Siegel, who of course reviewed at no charge your estate planning and found out it was a disaster, and he fixed it for you. Attorney Barry Siegel, good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen. How are you?
We are well. How about yourself, Counselor?
Very good. I know I spoke to Brian already yesterday. Steve, how was your Father's Day?
It was excellent. It was excellent. I always love Father's Day. It's a great one.
Well, with 7 kids, it's a big day.
Well, I didn't have all 7 with me, but even then, I mean, you know, I had
The phone's ringing. Yeah.
grandkids and
Oh yeah, it's extended.
Tyler, and it was great. It was great, and I heard from everybody.
That's fantastic. Well, now that the school is out, you know, all the elementary, middle, high schools are out. At least I think they're all out in the Tri-County area here, and we're in the midst of summer, and we're at the end of this pandemic. People are traveling like crazy. The airlines are going crazy. And I even heard there was news about some of the airlines not having the capacity to handle all this travel, and they're canceling flights and all that. But one of the things that happens is when we have clients or potential clients that are traveling, a lot of times they want to get their estate planning done in advance. Now, I can kind of understand the thought process with that. They think, well, gee, you know, for traveling, maybe something can happen. So I get that, and we do get a lot of that. But on the other hand, something can happen any day. We hear all kinds of things in the news, unfortunately, where crazy things happen. So we don't have a crystal ball. We don't know what tomorrow brings. So the point is, it's important to make sure you have your plan and set up. Make sure you have your estate plan in. Make sure that it's up to date, because you don't ever know what tomorrow brings.
That's for sure.
To make sure you...
In fact, I read an article once about 80% of car accidents happen within 2 miles of the home. Think about that, huh? That's pretty scary. Listen, give attorney Barry Siegel's office a call. It's a free consultation with the Siegel Law Group. Online, siegellawgroup.com. And the number over there is 855-FLA-3782. 855-FLA-3782. Attorney Barry Siegel, we will talk later in the week. All right, take care. You want to go back to the phone, Steve? All right, 1-888-GO-CANE-1. You're on the... Yeah. Let me put you back on hold, caller. Hold on.
I mentioned this in passing yesterday, and as I watch, and I mean, to me, watching the news on television is a 24-hour job. I spend most of my time doing it. It's not only my vocation, but it's my recreation too. And I see these patterns develop, and I think the developments with Tucker are interesting. He's definitely coming out on a level that others are not. But the more I'm listening, there's no way the Democrats are going to give up the edge that they got electorally through the COVID scandal.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. The variants. They call the variants.
And it's just, I hope I'm wrong. I pray I'm wrong. This country has been through holy hell.
Yeah. Well, you know what it is, Steve? Yeah. Well, the reason is because Democrats love control. They seized control last year, and they want it back. They don't want to give us our freedoms back. Yeah, it's you know, and it involves a lot of different things. Our number, COVID. Yeah. There's a phrase that I use a lot, that, you know, when somebody doesn't like something, they hate it like the plague, and I got to change that, because a lot of liberals seem to like the plague. You know what I mean? It's true. 1-888-GO-CANE-1, and I'll tell. Oh, just one last thing before we go to the phones on this poll thing yesterday. If I came on the air and did a poll like that on the first day, you would ream me out after the show. You would.
Polls are the most uncreative form of talk radio. Polls are what you do when you have nothing else to talk about. And the most important and interesting thing about the new programming that's going in is, that's what Rush had. He was creative. He had incredible insights, and he would throw things out there, and you'd say, and if things would, as an audience member, things would just click as you heard him talk, and you say, yeah, that's right.
But this was a little different than just amateur hour radio, because that's amateur hour. It's like, what would you do if you won the lottery? It's amateur hour. It's FM morning zoo talk. But I typically, but I think this one, I think they got an agenda to divide the MAGA movement, that have this Team DeSantis and Team Trump, and they're trying to promote this Trump fatigue thing. And it really, I wasn't as close to Rush as many as you are in the listening, because I didn't listen all the time. And when I went to his house last week and I saw that memorial out front, I was really moved by that, and I was really blown away by. I told you, I made a YouTube video. It's on my channel. It looked like Buckingham Palace when Diana died, what people have done there, and his wife is allowing that to stay at the front gate is a nice thing of her to do. She's got to go in the service entrance to get into her house now, but she wants that to happen. And you know what she's doing? This is amazing. Rush's wife, when people leave cards and letters, she's going out there with Ziploc bags and putting them in the Ziploc bags so they get preserved out there at the gate. So the rainy season. And when I hear them on day one launch with this establishment of a never Trumper thing, I just think that's disrespectful to Rush and everything he built. It's like tearing down his house. I don't think he would. Rush stayed on the air when he should have been home to support Trump. On days that and you know how hard you and I do shows when we're not feeling well, you know, and have things going on. The man was dying, and he went there every day to fight for Trump. And on day one, they come in and do this never Trumper thing and try to have Team DeSantis and Team Trump. It's in bad taste. It's sick. All right, let's go. You guys, I want to hear your thoughts. Okay, you're on the radio, caller. What's your name?
Yeah, is this me?
Sounds like you. Yes.
Yeah, hi, Patrick in Colorado. I was listening to that yesterday, and I was disgusted. Rush would have rolled over in his grave, but I'm surprised Fox News didn't come out with that.
Well, well. And by the way, is this Patrick from the cruise? Okay, well, welcome. Good to talk to you, Patrick. Goes with us on our Steve Kane cruises. You know, I got to tell you, I am really upset about this. And maybe I shouldn't because I didn't listen every day like a lot of you guys did. But
I agree, and what they're trying to do is program us, and that's why I say, how come Fox News didn't come out with this poll first?
Well, because they didn't feel comfortable doing it. They didn't feel comfortable doing it, so they got them doing it. You know, Mike, you'll eat it, he'll eat anything. So now what they'll do is they can have a story reacting to what happened on the Buck Sexton show. You know, that's how they do things.
The sad reality is Russia's gone, and these efforts, these commercial efforts, and these people behind the scenes, the consultants, there's nobody in radio knows less about programming than radio consultants.
But I think the consultant here is Paul Ryan and Mitt Romney.
You're making it too complex.
What do you think?
I'll tell you this, I think that show is going to go down like a Led Zeppelin. I won't be...
Well, here's the deal, okay? And this is, I got a big change of heart on this one. There's a ratings war going on, like between Letterman and Leno after the Tonight Show, after Johnny retired. We have Bongino versus this, and there's going to be a ratings battle because they're on the air competing against each other in multiple markets. So who's going to win? I'm on Team Bongino right now.
The controversial Alex Jones now during that time. It's just way...
Yeah, and more credible than this thing. Hey, Patrick, good to talk to you. Yeah, that may be one of the first conversations I've ever had with Patrick sober because we hang out on the cruises, you know, and I got my drink package. I'm ready. Oh, man. Listen, let's take our break for the bottom of the hour, all right? It's 31 minutes after. I'm Brian. This is the Steve Kane Show. 1-888-GO-KANE, 1-888-465-2631. We'll break and be right back after this.
If you suffer with diabetes, did you know there's a 25% chance that you will develop a foot ulcer at some point in your life? And foot ulcers, when you have diabetes, can lead to severe health consequences up to and including amputation. Now, Medicare recognizes the importance of preventative foot care and has provided coverage for those of you who are at-risk patients. I want to introduce you to my good friends at the Soul Authority. At the Soul Authority, at little or no cost, you can receive your very own pair of therapeutic shoes made specially for diabetics. You're probably not aware, but as a diabetic Medicare recipient, you are entitled to one pair of high-quality diabetic shoes with 3 custom inserts per year. These are not the ugly Frankenstein shoes. These are name brand shoes. They're stylish. They'll provide you with the extra width and extra depth to stop diabetic foot problems before they begin. Oftentimes, amputation due to diabetes is preventable, and one of the preventable measures that is most effective is wearing the proper shoes. Call the Sole Authority at 954-597-7060 or online at thesoleauthority.com. That's THESOLE authority.com. Tell them Steve Kane sent you.
Stop paying an outrageous fortune for your tires. Go easy on your budget and buy your tires at Friendly Tire in Margate, where they have all the major brands like Goodyear and Firestone at discount prices that absolutely can't be beaten. Steve Kane's tires for his Toyota van at the other shops, $175 a tire. At Friendly Tire, just
Wookie's dad, $5 super chat. Thank you. Rush deserves more respect than that. Right on.
My daughter Emily's car, $135 at the shops around town. The price at Friendly Tire, only $65. That's a $70 savings per tire. These prices are out the door and on the road. Free mounting and balancing and no added charges. Friendly Tire have a great selection of good used tires too, starting at just $30 for most cars. Call my good buddy Friendly Mike at Friendly Tire. Tell him what you drive and he will give you a great low price right over the phone. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. Online, friendlytire.net.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just look.
Oh man, you know, this morning I got into my car and the light came on the dashboard, a warning light that one of my tires was low on air. So I went to Wawa to put air in my tire, and I saw I got a screw in it. I ran over a screw, so my tire's in trouble. But you know what? I'm going to head over to Friendly Tire, and they'll, Friendly Tire, they do tire repairs starting at just $7. I'll be over there 5 minutes. Boom, boom, boom. It'll be taken care of. The other tire shops around town do not do repairs. They tell you they don't do repairs. They only sell tires. Friendly Tire will do repairs on your tires. So let me give the number out real quick. You may run into me there. 954-977-9445. They do tire repairs starting at just $7. Tucker Carlson has been going after everyone. He's going after the Republicans. He's going establishment. This thing he did on Don Lemon may seem petty and comical, but it was devastating to Don Lemon. This piece he did on Don Lemon. He had the racist cookie jar, Don Lemon. Apparently, did you see this, Steve?
Tuned out around the cookie jar time. I saw the beginning of the segment. It was.
Well, I know it seems funny to people, but if you're liberal Don Lemon, you're pissed about everything that was revealed by Tucker about you last night. As petty as it may sound, one, Tucker Carlson showed a photograph of Don Lemon in his kitchen with I don't know how you would describe the cookie jar. If any of you saw it, you could describe it. It's one of like a Sambo cookie jar or something. You know what I mean? It was a very old-fashioned, very old racist caricature of an African-American gentleman on the cookie jar in his kitchen. Anybody else did that, they'd be canceled. And then he pointed out something that I thought was revealing about Don Lemon that is humiliating to him, to his viewers. He lives in a $4.3 million home, which is, he's on national TV, but he lives in a neighborhood that's only 3% African-American. And if you subtract him from it, it may be 0%. He may be the 3%, for all I know, or 2 of the 3. You know what I mean? He might be 1.5% of the 3%. Why do you think Don Lemon lives in a white neighborhood, Steve?
Because he can.
There's rich black neighborhoods. Spike Lee's neighborhood's in New York. He doesn't want to. I think Don Lemon doesn't really feel comfortable around black people and doesn't like living around. His boyfriend that he lives with, his husband, is a white guy too. He really doesn't spend a lot of time around black people. And the reason Tucker did this was not to be petty. Don Lemon the other night did a show that there's 2 worlds. There's a white world and a black world, and it's unequal and systemic racism, and this is why we need critical race theory. And Don Lemon has stayed away from the black world. He wants to be in the white world. I think Don Lemon is humiliated and pissed that was revealed last night. Yeah. I wonder, what I was wondering, though, from Tucker, maybe he got into this and I missed it. He lives in a neighborhood that's 3% African American, Don Lemon, but what is the percentage of straight versus gay? Does he live in a gay neighborhood is what I was wondering. Anybody know? Did Tucker get into that? Does he not? I don't know. All right. Our number 1-888-GO-KANE-1. You're yeah.
Theme of most of a lot, not most, but a lot.
Hold on, caller.
Of the work that's what's his name?
Tucker Carlson.
That Tucker is doing the theme. He is really going after the vaccine.
Is he? Oh, I haven't heard that. Yeah. I missed that part. Hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know. I missed that part, but I'll keep. All right, caller, you're on the air. Good morning. Hey, Jim.
Hey, James.
So, if you recall, when Trump came down the escalator, it was ridicule, right? They ridiculed him to make him look like a candidate that wasn't viable or electable. Well, now that they realize 4 years in office and he was a doer, unlike these other presidents who do nothing, and was likely the winner of the last election.
Well, what they're doing, this is, let me tell you what's going, because we know DeSantis because we're in Florida. DeSantis, do you know how long Florida's been open since the pandemic, Jim? No, since day one. Florida was always open. No, Florida never closed. We were open the whole time. Okay. A couple things closed down, like Disney World, but no, Florida has been open the whole time. We've never been closed, and things are great. And his vaccine rollout is not only legendary. The way he governed during the pandemic will be a model for future governors around America for many decades to come. But here's the thing. Yeah. Well, Ron DeSantis has been making the left look bad. In fact, CNN has done something they don't do for governors outside of New York or California. CNN has had a reporter for the entire year assigned to Ron DeSantis covering him, which is very unusual. They'll cover Cuomo a little bit, they'll cover Newsom, but not the Florida governor. This is unusual. They have spent the last year trying to dig up dirt to discredit him on, and they found nothing. So they've strategized, and this is what they're doing. They're trying to divide Trump from DeSantis. They believe that Trump has a lot of insecurities and ego problems, and that this straw poll crap that they're pulling will divide the two of them personally out of jealousy on Trump's part. And that's why that's purpose one that they're doing this. And they're also trying to get us to have a dialogue of who would you rather with the two of them. It's psych ops. It's total psych ops. Very clever, but we're on to them.
It is clever, but I got news for you. DeSantis in 28, one way or the other, is going to be our president. And I wish to God we had.
Yeah. Well, you can't have him. He's ours. And and there's another thing. There's another thing they're doing, because these people, they're trying everything. They're very devious. Okay. So the talk is for DeSantis to run as Trump's running mate in 2024. So they've started this movement, this talk that, oh no, Florida, we can't afford to lose DeSantis to the vice presidency. Well, he's going to be leaving 2 years later anyway. The governor only has two terms. That's the law.
They've got another theme that they throw out there. They're trying to make people think that this.
Yeah.
Election, which I wouldn't mind seeing. Would you? Now that you can see the potential power that the Speaker of the House has with Pelosi and stuff like that, imagine having Donald Trump in there.
Oh yeah, it'd be great.
Really accomplish some things.
If that happened, Trump derangement syndrome would be off the charts. It would be great.
Oh yeah, the country. You know, I'd like to see Nancy have to hand the gavel over to President Trump as Speaker.
Party like I did on the election.
Hell yeah. She wouldn't show up. All right. Yeah.
She probably would ghost him. You're right.
Yeah, she wouldn't show up. Yeah, take care. She'd try to break the gavel on TV like she ripped up the State of the Union. Now, I was telling you guys earlier, this is an incredible deal. I got a call yesterday, Steve, from Mike Lindell's office, and and they've got a new special that they want us to tell the listening audience about, and this is a special that is going to be for a limited time because they're going to run out of stock. They've done this before, and it's on the MyPillow 100% Giza Cotton Dream Sheets. Now, I have these sheets, and the MyPillow Giza Dream Sheets are the most amazing sheets I've ever had for a number of reasons. Let me tell you quickly. One, no matter what the temperature is, my body is the perfect temperature under these sheets. If it's hot, I'm perfectly cool. If it's cold, I'm warm. I don't know what it is, but they're perfect. The other thing about them that I find amazing, now, Steve, you don't make your own bed. You probably have servants or something that do that. But, I make the bed with my wife. No, it's true. It's true. You don't make the bed, do you?
No.
Now, see, I told you guys. But when for us,
my bed at college.
Yeah, I know. Steve had a servant, manservant, even then.
No, that's not true either.
Okay, but I make the bed with my wife, But the thing is, the bottom sheet on regular sheets, you can get 3 corners on, but that 4th corner, you got to be like Stretch Armstrong to get that thing over, and you can never get the 4th corner all the way over to have your bottom sheet on right, the fitted sheet. Well, that's because you don't have the MyPillow Giza Dream Sheets, okay? Now, the MyPillow 100% Giza Cotton Dream Sheets, you can make the bed with just 2 fingers, and you can get it over all 4 corners perfectly. And even with the mattress topper, it fits perfectly. Now, here's the special, and I'm telling you, they're going to run out of stock, and they're going to have to discontinue the special when they do. Right now, when you use the promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E, buy 1 set of Giza Cotton Dream Sheets, get a 2nd set free. And free shipping. And this is an incredible deal. Last time they ran this special, they started running out of stock real quick, and they had to discontinue the special. That's why I know this is going to be for a limited time. So stand with Mike Lindell and support his efforts to support President Trump. And you're also supporting the Steve Kane Show as well. Use the promo code KANE at checkout. Those of you watching online on YouTube, I put the link to the special right at the top of the chat room. So just click that link, promo code KANE, K-A-N-E. And you can also order by phone, 1-800-716-4879. All right, let's take our break, and we'll be back with the Gold Report right after this.
Hi, my name is Tom Laporta, the owner of Laporta Contracting, Roofing, and Restoration. We have been in the roofing and construction industry since 1982. We are state of Florida certified roofing and general contractors focusing on residential and commercial roofing, impact windows, and building restoration. The 2021 hurricane season is upon us. If you have noticed any water stains on your ceiling, or if your roof is older than 15 years, you will want to call us to come out and evaluate your roof. Our services run from minor repairs to complete new roof systems. We install every kind of roof, from regular asphalt shingles, clay or concrete tiles, standing metal seam, wood shakes, and slate floor systems. Call us at 954-604-4602 for a free home inspection and estimate. Again, that number is 954-604-4602.
Steve Kane Show.
Hi guys, it's Dr. Matez.
The what?
Now that I've joined the Biostation West Delray, we're not just about making
I have no idea. I don't know. Who is that?
you look good too. Our practitioners
I don't know.
are well trained and experienced in the use of Botox, fillers, platelet-rich plasma, microneedling lasers, as well as any modality out there. We even have a Miami plastic surgeon available for the big jobs. We can now make you look good to match the way we make you feel. So if you want to feel good and look good, call us at the Biostation West Delray at 561-320-8893. That's 561-320-8893. And for a limited time only, if you're a Steve Kane listener, 10% off all cosmetic services. And if you happen to be a Steve Kane cruiser, we're going to give you another 10%. That's 20% off all cosmetic services leading up to the Steve Kane cruise.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WWNN.
All right, and now that moment you wait for each day on the Steve Kane Show, and of course we're talking about William Youngerman and the incredible gold report each day at this time about William.
It's not muted. I can hear it.
Experts in the world when it comes to the precious metals. He comes on and tells us how.
Well, thanks, Cheryl.
Yesterday, closed, how they're doing today at the opening, and it's an exciting time. A lot of people tell me it's their favorite part of the show.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
How are you today?
Great, Steve. How you doing?
Excellent.
Good. Well, the precious metals are hanging in there very nicely at our support levels. While we had a nice up day yesterday, we've got a little bit of a pullback on what I always call Contrary Tuesday. Tuesday, Wednesday, sometimes being a great opportunity to take advantage of any kind of dips in the market or contrary moves. The market yesterday, we saw gold trading in a range from $1,764 right on the support level, all the way up to $1,788, closing out the day at $1,783.40, which was up $19.60. Silver we saw close up 14 cents at $25.94 the ounce, while platinum was up $20 at $1,050, and palladium, big move, up $109 at $2,509 the ounce. This morning we've got gold trading in a range, or was higher, up as high as $1,791 and as low as $1,772. Right now trading around $1,775. That's down $8.40, and a solid $10 above support levels. Silver down 14 cents right now at $25.80 the ounce. Platinum unchanged at $1,050, and palladium down $25 at $2,484. Bitcoin is the big story right now. Bitcoin, after hitting about a high of 65,000, is all the way back down to 29,500 this morning. That's been an interesting story. The support level for Bitcoin was 30, and they're saying that this could take it even much lower. Bitcoin down over $2,000 today alone. So how is that a store of value? It certainly is not. And the Chinese are putting in a lot of restrictions on the trading of Bitcoin in their country, a communist nation that does not want people to have control of their own money. And basically our argument, which has been for quite some time, that Bitcoin is a casino in the sky. It is not a hedge to protect your investment. How can it be a hedge when you have these kind of moves in it? So the one real currency that stood the test of time for over 5,000 years is still gold and silver. $3 a barrel. The dollar a little bit stronger today at 92.12 on the index, and that's pretty much where.
You know, I've been hearing, young people, I'm talking about like the college age kids are talking, this, I never thought I'd hear this before. They're talking about wanting to bring back the gold standard because they see the difference between value in a metal, gold, and these other things. Listen, William Youngerman, he opens weekdays at 10 a.m. The number over there, if you want to call, is 800-327-5010, 800-327-5010. Online, WilliamYoungerman.com, and the address, 150 East Palmetto Park Road, right here in Boca Raton, on the first floor of the Bank of America building, just east of US 1 Federal Highway, on the south side of Palmetto Park Road. All right, William Youngerman, we'll talk tomorrow.
Okay, have a great day.
Steve, are you with me? Okay, you're with us. Okay, I heard you drop out there. That's okay. I think we lost the connection, but you are back. All right. Tucker Carlson, this is what's kind of happening with me with Tucker Carlson is I want to catch that first segment every night to see who he's going to expose, because that's really what that first segment has become lately, and he is on a tear. Now, there's a new Project Veritas release coming with another local reporter. A lady reporter was doing the weather, and in the middle of her weather report, she stopped doing the weather and said she's got a breaking story on Project Veritas. She's going to be on there this week, and then she went back to the weather. So, so keep an eye out for the next Project Veritas release. And it's interesting because people forget the local news is owned by the New York liberal media, right? CBS affiliates and ABC affiliates and Fox affiliates. And they're liberal and never Trumpers too, and I think it'll be. This is going to be this is a new series they're doing exposing the local news, which I tend to. I like the local news, but they're not so trusted anymore. Do you watch the local news anymore? Really, I started going back to it because it's hurricane season, and in hurricane season I want to watch the weather, and I've noticed it's changed a lot in the last year or so. A lot of the local news isn't really local. It's generic, done at some studio elsewhere for like 200 TV stations, but they want to try to make it look like it's local. I was very surprised. There's been a big corporate takeover of your local news, and it's we'll see what Project Veritas has today. I don't know, but what's going on with Tucker going after every single person? He's burning every bridge.
Important. The thing to watch with Tucker is his relationship with the plague.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Well, but what he's doing is, like last night he went after Don Lemon. The other last week he spent most of last week going after the FBI with the breach. Then he went at Kevin McCarthy. He's making a lot of enemies, and what he's doing is, yeah, but they're going to start uniting together against him. So I don't know. Yeah, not like this. Not like this. He's not. He's something's changed in what he's doing. I've never seen him. He's always been good. Okay, I used to like him on CNN when he was on Crossfire. He's always been good, Tucker Carlson, in the bow tie days. But what he's been doing the last month is different. I mean, it's like a different show. And I've never seen him really get very specific on things like he's doing now. No, something's different over there. And, a lot of it may be when his house was attacked by Antifa while his wife was home alone, a couple years ago. But something's happened in the last month on that show, and it's much different than it used to be. Nah, I don't know. Now, I do know this. At high noon, Monday through Friday, on our radio station, Richard Pearl on Politics is where my radio is set. Richard Pearl, good morning. Yes. Now listen, Richard Pearl's radio show is on our radio stations at noontime, Monday through Friday, Richard Pearl on Politics. On the weekends at noon, he has his health show, Pearls of Health, same radio stations, as well as the iHeartRadio and TuneIn app. Search for the show by our station call letters, WWNN, 2 W's and 2 N's. His store, Simply Natural, is located in Sunrise, just north of Sunset Strip on the east side of University. Open 7 days a week, 11 a.m. till 9. And the number over there, 954-741-4045. All right, have a great show, Richard Pearl, and we'll talk tomorrow. You want to sign us off, Steve?
It's over. And do not despair. We'll be back tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. with Brian Craig. Now, right on the
cutting edge. We're on the cutting edge. That's right.
That you covered. AM 1470, FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network. WWNN, Pompano Beach.
All right, guys. Hey, listen, before you go, make sure you like the video if you don't mind. That helps a lot. Liking the video helps spread this video on the YouTube platform to other people like us that like this kind of content and think like we think. So don't leave without liking that video. All right, guys. If you're new here, my name's Brian. Welcome. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.